on to win the final. Laver would win a total of 11 Grand Slams as both a pro and an amateur at this time, despite being banned from Grand Slam play for 5 of his best years. He won 6 doubles Grand Slams, 3 mixed doubles titles, and he also led his Australian team to 5 Davis Cup victories. One of the best, an icon in Rod Laver. For SiriusXM Sports, I'm Ryan Payton.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
Number 5, Jalen Murray. And at guard, a 6'1" senior from Edmond, Oklahoma. Third team All-SEC. Number 3, Sean Padula. And head coach of the Rebels, Coach Chris Beard. And now, the Auburn Tigers. At forward, a 6'10" senior from Plant City, Florida. First team All-SEC and Player of the Year, number 4, Janai Brew. At forward, a 6'6" senior from West Memphis, Arkansas, number 5, Chris Moore. At center, a 6'11" senior from Augusta, Georgia, number 44, Dylan Cardwell. At guard, a 6'6" senior from Stone Mountain, Georgia, number 13, Miles Kelly. At guard, a 6'4" senior from New Market, Alabama, the All-SEC defensive team, number 2, Denver Jones. And head coach for the Tiger and SEC Coach of the Year, Bruce Pearl.
Bruce Pearl owns 16 SEC tournament wins. The next win he gets would move him up in a tie for 5th with Rick Pitino and Hugh Durham. We are just about ready to go. Brian Passink, the one stat I think both of us, we talked before the broadcast that we were both very interested to see. Can this Ole Miss team rebound? They are undersized today against a much bigger, more physical Auburn front line. Auburn on the year averages about +4 on the backboards. Ole Miss -4.5. You don't want to overcomplicate games like this. If Ole Miss can't rebound and Auburn gets second chances, this might be a long, long afternoon for the boys from Oxford.
Yeah, and Chris Beard hasn't had a lot of time to prepare for this game, which is the nature of college basketball during tournament week. But I can assure you, in those meetings, in film session, the point of emphasis has been rebounding the basketball. They announced Janai Broom as he was introduced to the fans here at Bridgestone Arena, the SEC Player of the Year. He may be the National Player of the Year. He's one of the best offensive rebounders in the game, and he's so effective in so many different ways. But this Auburn team hits the glass hard. They're big. They're strong. They've got more than just Janai Broom. Dylan Cardwell has been at Auburn a long time, and at 6'10", 6'11", he's a terrific rebounder on both ends as well. I think Ole Miss can absolutely play with the Auburn Tigers, assuming that they do a great job on the backboard. Their numbers in terms of rebounding over the course of the season, not what Chris Beard would want. He's coached teams that have been dominant rebounding teams, but they have had games against some of the best teams in this league where their guys have stepped up and played well in rebounding. Malik Dia is one of those players. He needs to have a big game on both ends.
Well, he did that yesterday as he scored 19 points in the win over Arkansas, but 14 of those came in the first half when Ole Miss was really searching for scoring. As the teams break their huddle, Pat Adams will be our lead official, joined by Bart Lennox and Steven Anderson. Rebels in the road reds. They got the script M on the side of the shorts, white and navy blue piping, while Auburn, as the 1 seed, will wear the home whites all weekend. Auburn in blue across the chest, trimmed in orange. We are just about ready to go. Quarterfinal Friday should be an absolute banger of a day. Texas and Tennessee to get the winner of this one. A night session of Mizzou in Florida, and then Kentucky and Alabama for a nightcap. But it all starts with the 15-3 Auburn Tigers in the SEC. Those 15 regular season wins tied a school record. Television has just about given us the all clears. We are just past noon here locally, ready to go in quarterfinal number 1. Auburn to work right to left as we view it. Ole Miss will attack the basket down to our right. Thank you for making us a part of your Friday afternoon as Pat Adams throws the ball in the air. It's going to be Ole Miss to open on offense as it's tapped into the Rebel backcourt. Number 5 in red, Jalen Murray to run point as he breaks the timeline, pestered there by Miles Kelly of Auburn. Tigers in a half-court man, pass up the far sideline to Dre Davis. Guarded by Broom, steps out. You can see the size of Auburn immediately on a smaller Ole Miss team. Davis, though, gets to the paint, fall away from 10, good, and 30 seconds in, the Rebels lead 2-0.
Yeah, well defended by Janai Broom, but the Rebels knocked down a contested mid-range jumper.
Denver Jones to run point for the Tigers. Lobs low and right, short corner to Broom. On that favored left shoulder, now goes right into the paint. Banker won't drop. Weak side rebound, grabbed by Ole Miss. And Matthew Morrell, he'll set sail up court, kicks in the corner. Davis, an up fake on Broom. Now brings him into the bucket. Can't shoot. Goes up top, Padula. Now they'll swing it around to Dia, right wing. 1 minute in, 2-0 Rebels, and Ole Miss has the basketball. It's Davis holding. 10 on the timer. Coming free on a curl, left wing 3, off the heel, no good for Morrell. And Broom can trot to the corner to grab the rebound for Auburn. Miles Kelly, one of their best three-point shooters at over 40%. 3 guard starting lineup for Bruce Pearl. They all shoot near 40% from beyond the arc. Pick and roll up top. Jones heads right, gives up his dribble, hits Broom, back to the basket at the elbow. Turns to face Diaz, sizes him up, now lowers the shoulder, kicks in the corner, no shot there, but they'll swing it up for Jones. 3 on the way is good, and Auburn cracks the seal on their second possession. They lead 3-2.
Tigers playing off of their best player, Janai Broom. Double team came, the extra pass, and Auburn, a team that can really shoot it. They get a lot of open threes because you have to pay attention to their big guys inside.
Yeah, the SEC Player of the Year leads them in assists, rebounding. Conveniently, he also leads them in scoring, but he started and got the hockey assist there. 3-2 Tigers. Now Ole Miss has to hurry. Contested 3 with the timer winding down. Dre Davis in Broom's face makes a 3, 5-3 Ole Miss.
Good start for Ole Miss shooting the ball. Auburn, an excellent defensive team. They've got some pretty good contest here early, but the hot shooting of the Rebels.
5-3. Ole Miss with the lead. Nearly a turnover is going to the deck. Jones has to save it near the sideline in front of a standing Chris Beard of Ole Miss. Auburn keeps the possession. Here's Kelly. He'll try a straight on 3. Grazes the front of the rim. Offensive board, though, for Auburn as Broom shoved away Davis, who was trying to face guard him on the block out. Now Broom on a kick out. 3, no. Rebounded by Ole Miss and Dia.
Janai Broom does most of his damage inside. You mentioned his passing ability. He's a streaky shooter from the three-point line. I think Chris Beard would much rather have him shooting threes in this game, but capable of getting hot.
Yeah, Broom under 30%, but just barely so from beyond the arc. Dia with an up fake. Down the lane, Cardwell challenges him, blocks the shot. Dia tries again, this time gets the foul, and he'll shoot 2.
That's a smart play by Malik Dia, understanding who's guarding him. Janai Broom, the leading shot blocker in the SEC. Boy, every statistic you mentioned, it's like Janai Broom, best offensive rebounder. Janai Broom, best shot blocker. But Malik Dia gets him in the air, goes inside, and goes right at Dylan Cardwell, who's had a tendency to get in a little bit of foul trouble over the course of his Auburn career. Dia, strong player inside, takes the contact and gets to the line.
Missed the first free throw, and Auburn, Brian, no real surprise. They're going to get to their bench early as they will give Chaney Johnson his first action, and Cardwell, after that early foul, takes a seat. Diaz will sink the second one. He'll take a seat, replaced by Jamin Brakefoot. Yeah, Janai Broom's like that annoying kid in high school that was good in every class, and he was good at sports, and the girls all liked him. Just unfair.
And how about the fact that he wasn't highly recruited coming out of high school?
Great job of development by Auburn. They swing it around to the corner. 3-ball good from Denver Jones. First 3 for the Tigers as we're tied at 6 on the other end. We got a whistle on a long pass under the basket, fumbled over the inline by Ole Miss. That'll be their first turnover. Auburn gets it back in a 6-6 tie. 16:39 to play, just underway.
You mentioned the shooting ability of the Tigers. Yes, Janai Broom is their focal point on the inside, but they've got guys that can really shoot it from deep. Denver Jones, one of the best defensive players in the SEC. You can't let him get his feet set. when he does, he knocks him down. Already has a couple here early.
Freshman Tahad Pettiford is into the game for the first time for Auburn, as is Chad Baker-Mazzara, the senior from the Dominican Republic. All-tournament team a year ago was Baker-Mazzara. Post-entry pass, Chaney Johnson fumbles initially, now goes to work. Had it poked away from him over the end line by Ole Miss's Dre Davis. Tigers keep it, 11 on the timer.
Auburn has versatility as well. Dylan Cardwell goes to the bench. They can go smaller and
lob it into Jones. The inbounder, Chaney, then retreats to the corner where he steps on the sideline. Ole Miss to take over on Auburn's first turnover of the afternoon.
See that a lot in college basketball because of the spread offenses and trying to gain spacing. You want to have your guys at the three-point line, which is deeper than it used to be, and sometimes pump fake, take that one step back, and results in a turnover. And that's why the Rebels get it back.
And turnovers are rarity for both of these teams. Talk about that in a second. Ole Miss basketball as it's break field. The Tigers defend in a half-court man. Ole Miss swings it around the perimeter. Now up top, it's Barnes into the game for the first time. David Barnes, great day afternoon. Immediately hoists up a three and misses. Weak side board for Auburn's Pettiford. Here come the Tigers. Rebels, like Auburn, pretty much a half-court man-to-man team. They mixed in some zone a little bit yesterday against Arkansas, but half-court man early on. We get our first media stoppage at the next dead ball. Pettiford guarded by Padula, nearly bobbled. Now pulls the lefty, almost banked in that three. He bricked it so strong, and Ole Miss clears the rebound. Here they come with Brakefield up the near sideline. Sizes up Johnson. Won't attack, instead cross court. Padula got room in the air on an up fake, had it stripped down the lane, but it's off of the foot of the SEC Player of the Year, Janai Broome, and Ole Miss will keep it after the timeout. Even start, 15-17 to play first half. Score in Nashville, Auburn 6, Ole Miss 6, and this is the SEC Radio Network.
Sonic Radio. It's time for my favorite segment, Ask the CIO. Hey, caller, you're on.
Hi, a big fan. I used to think I could never love another burger more than my favorite. Then I tried the Sonic Smasher. With its tangy smasher sauce, melty cheese, and hand-smashed Angus patties seared to crispy perfection. How do I tell my favorite burger it's been replaced?
Easy.
Cheers, basketball fans. Who are you rooting for today in this matchup? Well, get loud in the chat, cheer them on, and hang out with a bunch of people from all over the world. And while we're doing that, the main reason is this SickKids Hospital and Toronto Sports Insider Bracket Mania campaign that is now live. It is underway. Please check the link that is in the description as well as pinned in the chat. And donate if you are able. If not, please share it out. We are going to raise, the goal is at least $100,000 for SickKids Hospital from now until a champion is crowned at the Final Four. We'll see you back in the chat. Go, whichever team it is you're going for. Go Gators.
New season now streaming only on Apple TV+.
SEC basketball is brought to you all week long by Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. By Johnsonville, reminding everyone to keep it fun, keep it together, and keep it juicy. And by the Sonic Smasher. Live free, eat Sonic.
6-6 between the 8th seed Ole Miss and the top seed Auburn here. Quarterfinal number 1 of the 2025 SEC men's basketball tournament. With Brian Passink, Phil Brame here courtside at Bridgestone Arena. And Brian, an even start. Auburn 2 of 6 from the floor with a couple of Denver Jones three-pointers. Ole Miss is 2 of 5, 6-6 on the scoreboard, but each team with one early turnover. And, we do the stat sheet before the game, fill in all the details to see not one but 2 teams in this game who average less than 10 turnovers a game on the year. That's, number one, great coaching, but that's great execution, because as fast as these teams play, you see turnover numbers. It's routine almost, average 12, 13, 14 turnovers. Not so with these two.
Yeah, you've got really good guards, and you've got some big guys that know how to handle the ball and make good decisions. And also, I don't know that you'll find a game in college basketball with an older group on both sides than both the Tigers and Ole Miss. A lot of 4th and 5th year seniors. a bunch of guys that have played a lot of basketball at a high level, and they know what they're doing. And these are two really good defensive teams that don't necessarily depend on turnovers. Now, one thing that the Tigers do depend on is blocked shots. They're one of the best in the country at rim protection. You've got Dylan Cardwell, Janai Broome that block shots, and even though it's not statistically a turnover, that gets the Tigers going from defense to offense quickly.
Ole Miss basketball as Cardwell at 6'11 defends the 6'1 inbounder Sean Padula, but the Rebels get it in. It's Barnes up top, Murray who checked back in at that dead ball. Now Padula for three, rattled it halfway down and out. Good contest on the perimeter by All-SEC defensive player Chad Baker-Mazara, and Auburn has the rebound. It'll be Tahad Pettiford to stay in the game and run point. Kelly, Johnson, Baker-Mazara, and Cardwell on the floor as Janai Broome takes the seat. Three on the way from the corner, no good by Auburn's Kelly. And Ole Miss has the rebound. Good job on the interior there by Breakfield of the Rebels.
Mouse Kelly, one of the best three-point shooters in the country. Dia had a great contest, forced a more difficult shot that I think Kelly thought was coming.
2 of 7, Auburn is from the floor, but all but one of those attempts have been from beyond the arc. Ole Miss forcing them to take long threes as Dia puts the ball on the deck. Cardwell falls down, no call. Dia steps back, misses the three, and the rebound lost out of bounds off the Tigers. Ole Miss to keep it on a reset shot clock of 20.
Blake Dia, not known as a three-point shooter, capable of knocking down shots. Kind of has an old-school set shot as Dylan Cardwell hit the deck. Nice move by the veteran Dia. Ole Miss getting on the offensive glass, knocking it off the Tigers.
And now Murray at 5'11 inbounds with Cardwell pestering him, but they get it to the corner, and Dia. Morrell replaced Padula for the Rebels at that dead ball. Straight to the rack. Dia following from 6 gets that to go. Malik Dia had a great day yesterday. He split a couple of free throws, but that's his first field goal, and he's got 3. Ole Miss leads 8-6.
Another high degree of difficulty shot, this time by Dia. When he plays well, typically the Rebels win. That was well defended, but better offense by the Rebs.
14 to play first half. Baker-Mazara, one-on-one three, rattles in and out. Rebounding foul underneath. Brian, I think they got Cardwell. That's the second on Auburn's starting center.
Matthew Morrell with a textbook old-school blockout against Dylan Cardwell. And as we mentioned, not a lot of turnaround time for the Rebels after the dramatic victory over Arkansas yesterday. But knowing Chris Beard and what he focuses on, I'm sure they spent a lot of time watching film, talking about all 5 guys blocking out. Morrell did a great job on that possession.
Rebel basketball, you mentioned it's an older roster, no doubt. They've got some pride. They want to atone for the fact that, yes, they lost to Auburn twice. There's no shame in that. They were beaten pretty soundly on the Plains in the rematch after a close loss in Oxford as Ole Miss comes up empty on the jumper by Dia. Auburn has the rebound. Here they come. Pettiford, pick and roll 3 out front, won't drop. Auburn just can't buy one from downtown. That was a bad miss, wide left. Ole Miss with numbers. Here they come. Morrell, stop and pop. Straight on 3, no good. Rebounded by Ole Miss. Out to Murray, second chance. Caught in the air, kicks to the corner. Lefty 3, on the way and in. It's in from Breakfield, and Ole Miss leads 11-6.
Second chance opportunity for Ole Miss. Doing a good job on the glass on both ends. Missed the first open 3, second crack at it, knocks it down. The Rebels looking good on the offensive end.
And it's almost a steal as Barnes knocks it into the mid-court scores table right in front of us. Credit Matthew Morrell. He was the one that got the offensive rebound there for the second chance opportunity for Ole Miss as the Tigers have been held scoreless for nearly 4 minutes. We got 12:47 to play first half, and they have scored just 6 points. 11-6, the Ole Miss lead.
Bruce Pearl's team shoots it so well from the three-point line. Ole Miss understanding that, getting out the three-point shooters, doing a good job of forcing what looked to be open shots initially, really closing out, getting great contest, forcing more difficult shots. The Tigers now just 2 for 8 from deep. Rebels defense doing a great job. They have a lot to do with that.
Pettiford off the inbounds will work a pick and roll out front. Heads right. The lefty whips it underneath Johnson. Oh, what a great pass to Janai Broome. He got fouled going up. And the SEC Player of the Year will go to the line.
I think Ole Miss is paying much attention to the SEC Player of the Year. Janai Broome gets the ball. 3 Rebels around him. Thought maybe got the deflection clean up top, but the foul on the body against Broome. He'll go to the line for 2.
Padula charged with his first and Ole Miss's first foul. 12:39 to play first half. Janai Broom will brick the first free throw short and left. He is a 61.5% free throw shooter, but again, it's a bit of an unnerving start for Auburn. Not unusual for a 1 seed playing their first game in the noon central slot as Broom splits the pair, and it's an 11-7 Ole Miss lead.
There's definitely an advantage to being the number 1 seed and even the top 4 seeds getting a double bye, but maybe the advantage is to the opponent in the first game where they've had a chance to play a game, break a sweat, understand the background a little bit, and I think the Rebels have more to do with that as their defense has been really good.
Padula threw a pass down low that Murray wasn't ready for. Auburn the turnover. Here they come. Pettiford banks it in from the right block. Easy 2 points there for Auburn as the live ball turnover bites Ole Miss.
Defense leading to offense. Auburn this time does it with the steal. Pettiford with a beautiful move inside.
Deficit cut in half, and on the other end, Dia challenged by Broom, missed the runner down the lane line. Tigers the other way. Pettiford whips it to Jones. He's hit 2 threes. Pass up the sideline for Baker Mazzara. Deflected out of bounds. Baker Mazzara says that's off Ole Miss, but Pat Adams has a different opinion, and it's his that'll carry the day. 11:59 to go first half. It's an 11-9 lead for the 8 seed Ole Miss over the regular season champs from Auburn. We'll be back to Nashville after this on the SEC Radio Network.
Johnsonville asks, you know why they're called sausage links? Because they have the power to link people together. Isn't that beautiful? I read that somewhere, or maybe I just made it up. But the point is, instead of stirring the pot on social media to drive people apart, let's stir the jambalaya or the Italian sausage rigatoni. And you just watch. Johnsonville sausage links link people, just like the sausage patties is a way people pat each other on the back. Okay, that I totally made up, but it's also very true. Keep it juicy out there.
Lobs it up in a right-hand jam. Have mercy.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports and Outdoors and at academy.com.
When it comes to action-packed highlights, there's nothing like the SEC. And when it comes to packing your game day celebration with deliciousness, there's nothing quite like Bush's Beans. As the official beans of the SEC, we offer big taste for every fan and every tailgate, even if it never leaves your backyard. Come to think of it, we're kind of like the power conference of flavor. So draw up that beautiful bean game plan and stock up on your favorites. Bush's, that beautiful bean company.
Back in Nashville with 11:59 to play in quarterfinal number 1. Right now, it's an 8 seed over a 1 as Ole Miss leads Auburn 11-9. Phil Brain with Brian Passink, and Brian over to our left in that Ole Miss huddle. I'd imagine they're happy with the defense. They're happy with the rebounding, because if you had told Chris Beard, their head coach, hey, you're going to open 4 of 12 from the field and 2 of 7 from three-point range, I don't know if he'd love those numbers. But, man, they've defended, and they've done what they needed to do thus far rebounding.
Yeah, Chris Beard basketball. And Ole Miss hasn't always played that way this season, and I think that's much more due to personnel than it is to Chris Beard's coaching style. But he's been one of the best coaches in college basketball, whether it was Texas Tech, Texas, now at Ole Miss. And his teams have done it with defense and rebounding. Now, this Ole Miss team, as we mentioned it, they've struggled this year at times rebounding the basketball. They have not in this game. And rebounding and defense go hand in hand, and Auburn, a team that rebounds exceptionally well, especially on the offensive end. They've got great shooters, but they also go and get it when they miss, and they've only gotten 1 offensive rebound here in the first 8 minutes of this game. If those stats hold true, Ole Miss is going to be in position to potentially upset the #1 seed in this tournament, but obviously a long way to go.
You mentioned Beard, national runners-up in 2019 with Texas Tech, and this roster he's constructed, Brian, they are old. I don't know the last time I saw a team with 7 guys who have 1,000 career points or more.
Yeah, listen, with where college basketball is right now, for a variety of reasons. NIL, you've got guys that are sticking around in college because they can make money now. You've also got some guys that are 5th and 6th year seniors because of COVID. College basketball has gotten old, and the product, I think, has gotten better as a result.
Especially in this league, the regular season that we've seen. Auburn top of the heap through the 18-game regular season grind, but in a little bit of a hole here, down 11-9 as Ole Miss attacks. Padula hits the deck as he caught the ball along the baseline. 3rd turnover on Ole Miss. That's a rarity this early. Auburn another chance to run. Broom spins through a double. Banker no. Good box out on the interior by Davis of Ole Miss. He'll bring it up. Pestered by Auburn's Johnson. Leaves for a trailing Brakefield. Not really a three-point shooter, though. He's hit one already today. Brakefield brings it over to the left wing. Bounces low and left. Here's Davis. Size mismatch on a switch. He has Pettiford on him. Davis slowly backs him down. Kicks up top. Murray a three. No. Off the front of the rim. It kicks out to the head of the key where Johnson claims the miss for Auburn.
Even though Ole Miss missed the shot, that was good offense by the Rebels. Took their time, waited for the double team to come. Jalen Murray, one of the better three-point shooters on this Ole Miss team, was wide open but just missed.
Both teams 2 of 8 from the downtown range, so Auburn goes inside. Guess who? Broom gets loose underneath for a put-in, and we're tied at 11.
It is never a bad idea for the Tigers to go inside to their SEC Player of the Year. Gets it at point-blank range, the easiest 2 of the game for Auburn.
Near the midway point of the first half, we're back where we started, knotted up between these two, 11-11 as Broom has 3. SEC Player of the Year was also the most outstanding player in last year's conference tournament when Auburn cut down the nets on Sunday. Here's Murray. Oh, what a jab step down the lane, and Pettiford, boy, he got burned outside. He rejected that shot into the Auburn pep band.
Yeah, that's Auburn defense. Just 1.7 left on the shot clock. If Pettiford didn't get it, Janai Broom in great position. That play wasn't going anywhere. The Rebels probably fortunate to have a chance to run underneath out of bounds to get a shot before the clock buzzer goes off.
And a great point by you. Ole Miss has to hurry here as Padula whispers the play to everybody. Kicks in Murray. Shot blocked. And it's going to be a shot clock violation. 2 blocked shots in about a second and a half. Chaney Johnson got that one.
And we talked about it before the game. This Auburn team is one of the best shot blocking teams in the country, and it's more than just Janai Broom and Dylan Cardwell. They've got length on the perimeter. They blocked 2 shots, could have been 3 on that possession. Great defensive effort by the Tigers.
And when your offense isn't there, sometimes a little bit of good defense will loosen the rims on the other end as Auburn's 4 of 12 from the floor, but they can have their first lead in a while. Broom, a baseline spin. Oh, there's a flush at the rim on a couple of Rebels who challenged him and came up empty. Broom with 5. Auburn leads 13-11. On the other end, a hip check foul on a baseline drive by Dre Davis of Ole Miss. We'll see who they tagged the foul on for Auburn. Exactly 10 minutes to go first half. Denver Jones tagged with his first, 3rd foul on Auburn.
Bruce Pearl is the SEC Coach of the Year, and sometimes coaching isn't overly complicated. You're struggling on the offensive end. Hey, why don't you just dump it down to your All-American, SEC Player of the Year, potential National Player of the Year? They've done that the last couple of possessions, and the Rebels have not had any answers.
It was Auburn going cold early, Brian, but now it's 3 minutes plus for Ole Miss without points. And they've turned it over 3 times over that same stretch. 7-zip Auburn run. Brakefield with a loose handle has to chase it down in front of the Auburn bench. 15 on the timer. Up top, Barnes open on a kick-out 3, and he makes it. Much-needed bucket for Ole Miss as they're back in front, 14-13.
Rebels have had some good looks from the three-point line. They're a really good offensive basketball team. They move the ball, have good spacing. They're unselfish. Get an open 3 as a result.
9:30 to go first half. Baker Mazzara down low. Broom foul going up. 2 more free throws coming for him on the foul on Brakefield of Ole Miss.
I think all 19,000 here at Bridgestone Arena knows where Bruce Pearl wants to go with the ball on the offensive end, and that's inside to Janai Broom. They've gone right to him Last 3 possessions, Ole Miss knows it, but no answers for Broome. This time gets to the line for 2.
And Brian, it looked like that time Broome did his work before the pass from Baker Mazzara ever got there, as he had fantastic position on Brakefield. First free throw good, and the deficit is erased. 14-14 now, and Broome will have one more.
And when he does that, it's over. He's going to score or get fouled 90+% of the time at 6'10", 240 pounds. I mentioned the time he spent in college basketball. There's a reason a lot of people think he's going to be the National Player of the Year. Yes, he's skilled and athletic, but he also has a high basketball IQ.
Amongst active players in Division I, he's the 5th leading scorer. Is another turnover, Brian, on Ole Miss. Padula tried to one-hand wraparound bounce to Dia in the post, and it went into the courtside photographers.
Chris Beard not happy with that offensive execution. Not something he's used to. Is Ole Miss a team that does a great job taking care of the ball? That was an unforced turnover on that possession.
Ole Miss averages 8.9 turnovers a game on the season. They've committed 5 with 9:05 to play first half. Auburn, an open, deep 3 won't drop from Jones. Offensive board and a stick back. Jaheim Hudson seeing his first action of the game. Immediate dividends off the bench. He puts it in. 17-14 Tigers.
Looked like the Rebels may have dodged a bullet, giving Denver Jones a wide-open 3, not able to get on the defensive glass, and Auburn doing what they do well.
Another hand check foul out front. This one coming on Miles Kelly as he was trying to guard Jalen Murray. And it's funny, Brian, different coaches have different demeanors. Thinking about somebody like Dennis Gates of Missouri, he's a stroller up and down the sidelines. He just sort of calmly moves back and forth. These two, they are stalkers of the sideline. Chris Beard and Bruce Pearl, both very animated across the way. Fun afternoon watching those guys. They're yelling at somebody, either on the court or maybe on the bench beside them, trying to figure out the best way to play this game as they match up for the 3rd time this year, as Ole Miss nearly turns it over on the inbounds near midcourt. Diaz saves it. Barnes now with 10 on the timer. Pick and roll, right side of the key. Tries to go to work on Mazzara. Baker Mazzara, nothing there. Kick out now. Morrell gets an edge down the lane. Stops, hangs, draws a foul, and nearly banks it in on a wild one-handed sort of shot put looking thing, but it nearly went in. Gets the foul. That's Baker Mazzara's first.
A great defensive possession for the Tigers for about 29.5 seconds of the 30-second shot clock. Matthew Morrell able to get inside, take the contact, almost a 3-point play opportunity, but he'll go the line for 2.
Morrell, excellent at the free throw line this year at 80% just about. He makes that one. 1,751 career points for Morrell. It's 8th all-time at Ole Miss.
Mentioned the coaches in this game. Bruce Pearl, Chris Beard, so animated on the sidelines. Look around this league. The reason, in my opinion, one of the reasons the SEC is the best league in America, the best coaches, 2 of the best going at it here today.
Both free throws are good. 17-16, Auburn with the ball in a 1-point lead. Mazzara picks his way to the basket from about 8 feet. His leaner won't fall, but he gets the foul call. Looked like they tagged Dia with the foul. Whistle spotted by Bart Lennox. And that'll be the first foul on Dia. 3rd on Ole Miss, and free throws coming for Chad Baker Mazzara.
Chad Baker Mazzara, great player, 3rd team All SEC, does it on defense and offense. A veteran player. He's 25 years old, but involved a little bit of controversy. Got thrown out of the Alabama-Auburn game for throwing an elbow. There was some question if he might be suspended for the first game of this SEC tournament. He's out there playing, making a difference. And he's also a guy that has been great for the Tigers at times, and also go back to the NCAA tournament. I think the Tigers win that game against Yale if Chad Baker Mazzara doesn't get thrown out in the first half. He is so valuable to this team, but he's only valuable if he's on the court.
He's also a great free throw shooter at 90%, but he missed the first one. Rim spat it back out, made the second. Auburn now with an 18-16 lead, 8:05 on a winding first half clock. Murray to run point here for Ole Miss. Gives to Morrell, left of the head of the key. Pestered there by Baker Mazzara. Very active hands defensively. Now off a curl. It's Barnes straight away. 12 on the timer. Get immediate stoppage at the next dead ball. Dia now controls. Foul line extended right. Guarded by Broome. Steps into a long 15-footer that won't drop. Offensive board, though, for Ole Miss. It's Davis coming up out of the scrum with the basketball. Now Barnes Kicks up top. Davis. He'll try the three. Halfway down. The rim popped it out. And there's Kelly for the Auburn rebound.
Ole Miss getting some good looks from three. Now just 3 for 9. Most of those have been open looks.
It'll be Auburn basketball. Jones stands inside the center jump circle, calls out a play as he heads left off a pick. Now tries to go past Davis, got knocked to the deck, foul spotted, and that'll be a foul on Ole Miss and Dre Davis. His first floor foul, and we'll see Auburn on offense with this 2-point lead when we come back. 7:21 until the break. Tigers by 2 over the Rebels in the first quarterfinal of the SEC tournament here on the SEC Radio Network.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm the old basketball hoop in your driveway, and I'm rustier than your game. I mean, seriously, I should have been replaced back in '99. So when you go up for a dunk, I slam down onto your car. And if you don't have the right auto insurance, you might have to jump through a few hoops to pay for this. So get Allstate, save money, and get protected from mayhem like me.
Savings vary based on coverage selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament.
Wants to try another three. He'll make another three.
On the SEC Radio Network.
And if you want to grab a snack, grab a Farm Rich snack. Something about that song just makes me hungry. Well, any requests? Oh, how about some mozzarella sticks instead? Folks, it's time for me to grab a snack. Feel free to do the same. You can find Farm Rich in the freezer aisle. This next one goes out to all the cheese lovers out there.
On Southwest, everyone can change or cancel their flight without a fee. That means this solo travel queen can stay an extra day on vacay. No fee, baby. And these two lovebirds get one more day of freedom.
Our kids won't miss us. They're with me, Ma.
Well, this poor guy can bail on the bachelor party a night early.
I'm tired, man.
No change or cancel fees. For real. That's a big flex. Only at Southwest. Fare difference may apply. Failure to cancel a reservation at least 10 minutes prior to scheduled departure may result in forfeited flight credits.
Auburn 18, Ole Miss 16, seeds 1 and 8 respectively here, quarterfinal number 1 of the 2025 SEC Men's Basketball Tournament at Nashville's Bridgestone Arena. With Brian Passing, Phil Brame here. Brian, my feet are a little cold. We got some ice underneath us, home of the Nashville Predators, and the physicality of this game befitting a hockey arena. Tough basketball here, and for this Ole Miss team, they go 7, maybe 8 deep, playing their second game in as many days. First time we've seen Auburn this week, and Auburn's deep. They'll go 9. They've already gone 10 deep, and we haven't reached halftime yet. At what point do you think maybe the legs get a little heavy for Ole Miss? Is it today, or is it potentially a third game if they were able to pull the upset?
You know, I was thinking about this yesterday, watching Ole Miss and Arkansas. This would have been the third game in 3 days for Arkansas, and I don't know if Bruce Pearl and his coaching staff would admit it, but I think they may have been rooting a little bit for Arkansas, because at that point, for sure, there's a huge advantage there when you're playing your first game and the opponent is playing their third. Now, I think there could be an advantage. We may see that more in the second half or maybe into tomorrow. These number 1 seeds or top 4 seeds that got the double bye, they haven't had a chance to play here at Bridgestone Arena. And I think it's a wash. I think it's an advantage having to play one game, but does affect your legs a little bit. Definitely when you get into that third and possibly fourth, there's a potential for a fifth game now in SEC basketball with the addition and having to play on Wednesday. But I think more than anything, what we've seen is talent and experience of the Auburn Tigers on both ends the last few possessions.
Janai Broome leads them with 7. Denver Jones hit a couple of early threes. He's been quiet since, but he has it off the inbounds. Gives to the far side, and Chris Moore back into the game after a sizable break, giving way to Tahad Pettiford. Now it's Johnson out front, drives on Davis, step back 15-footer, online but heavy, and a good closeout by the Rebels as Malik Dia wasn't boxing out. His teammates were, and he was able to swoop in for an uncontested rebound. Rebel basketball, as they've out-rebounded Auburn thus far, 12-9. A 2 would tie us, a 3 would put the Rebels back in front. They've had 5 5 lead changes already in this first quarter final. 7 on the timer. Dia backs out beyond the arc, guarded by Broom. Step back, NBA 3, halfway down, circled out. Rebounded on a sprint out by Auburn's Jones. Fumbles on the perimeter, tried to get it into Broom. Padula nearly took it away. Now they do bounce low to the SEC Player of the Year. Number 4 in white. Steps out mid-range on the baseline. Now attacks through a double. Pass along the baseline. Nearly turned over. Moore, though, gets it. Down into the lane. He lost it. It comes right to Broom. Kick out. Cross court. Kelly to the bucket. Floater from 6 is in. Boy, that was sloppy, but all's well that ends well. Auburn scores. They lead by 4.
An ugly offensive possession, but Janai Broom making the plays and finding open teammates. Why he's one of the best big men passers in college basketball.
Dre Davis could have shot from the paint for Ole Miss, elected not to. He passes up top, goes to set a screen, and we have an off-ball foul coming on the Tigers. 6th team foul, so with 5:51 to play in the half and Ole Miss down 4, they will shoot on fouls the rest of the way, not on this one, which was tagged to Chris Moore, his first.
Going back to the offensive end for the Tigers. Beautiful floater by Miles Kelly after the pass from Janai Broom. And Kelly, one of the best three-point shooters in college basketball. He can get hot quick. Missed a couple from deep. See if that mid-range jumper gets him going.
More subs as Broom gets a seat. Auburn's played 10 guys. 6 of those 10 have scored. Again, it's Broom with 7 and Jones with 6. Ole Miss with a turnover. Padula cut. They thought he was going to the backcourt. Auburn a run out. Shot rejected on the layup attempt by Hudson. Looked like Dre Davis knew he messed up on the inbounds, so he just chased it down and swatted it for an impressive chase down block.
Yeah, you hear coaches all the time say, don't let one mistake become 2. That was definitely not the case. Dre Davis makes up for his mistake. The 6th Rebel turnover. They only average 8 per game on the season. Still just under 6 minutes to play in the first half. And a lot of those have been unforced, uncharacteristic by the Rebels.
We'll award our All-State good hands play on that rejection. We're in good hands with All-State. Basketball about to be in the hands of Janai Broom, who had a short rest there. He's back in with 5:49 to play in the half. He'll inbound and go right to the block. Kelly feeds him, but Broom has to retreat beyond the post, clears out traffic, sizes up Brakefield, bodies him down the lane, wraparound pass, stolen. Auburn ran that same play last set. Murray of Ole Miss saw it and picked it off. Here come the Rebels into the corner. Padula, an up fake. Could have shot. Instead, Davis will. His 3 online, but heavy. And Auburn has the rebound.
Those are shots that Ole Miss has to make to upset the Tigers here this afternoon. That was good offense, the extra pass. Understanding Sean Padula is a great three-point shooter. He finds an open teammate, can't knock it down.
Ole Miss now 3 of 12 from distance. On the other end, Jones with his first basket in a while. First of a 2-point variety. He now leads Auburn with 8 on the floater. 5 minutes to play. Tigers have their largest lead of 6 before halftime. Brakefield holds the basketball out front. Morrell on the catch, could have shot the 3. Now he goes to work as he backs down Kelly all the way into the block. Morrell, righty hook, won't drop. Rebound slapped around and saved by Pettiford of Auburn. Here he comes, head of steam all the way to the bucket. Lay up, circles once, twice, and out. Broom taps it off the backboard, trying to get it to himself, but it's Ole Miss out of the scrum. They run. Morrell, right wing 3, looks way too strong, it is, but the miss was so bad, it glanced off of Auburn and Pettiford, and Ole Miss with a dead ball offensive rebound.
Nice job defensively by Ole Miss to get back in transition. Auburn can play and win a lot of different ways. They can run when the opportunities present themselves. They also can pound it inside, take their time with Janai Broom. It was Pettiford, one of the best freshman point guards in the country, pushing the issue, got out in transition, and because of the Rebels sprinting back, forcing a difficult shot, they were able to get it back.
Ole Miss now 8 deep as their Brazilian freshman, Eduardo Klafke, gets his first action today. Yesterday, Klafke hit a big 3 in the second half against Arkansas. It was his first 3-point make since mid-January in Starkville against Mississippi State. They got confidence in him. Just want him to turn it loose a little more as down the lane, Murray with a tough finish over Broom. How did 5'11" Jalen Murray score over 6'10" Janai Broom?
Yeah, and I think 5'11" is generous. What a play by the veteran over the best shot blocker in the SEC.
Snaps a scoreless streak for Ole Miss. They're now 1 for their last 8 from the field. Auburn inside of 4 to go. Wraparound pass from Johnson to the corner. 3-ball, no good. Broom on the stick back gets hacked going up by Barnes. There'll be more free throws for Auburn after the immediate timeout. Ole Miss, a much-needed basket on the other end, but Auburn will go right back to the line when we come back. 3:52 to go until the half of quarterfinal number 1. The regular season champs of Auburn on top of Ole Miss, 22-16 in Nashville on the SEC Radio Network.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports and Outdoors and at academy.com.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament.
A shot from 3, nothing but net.
On the SEC Radio Network.
Sonic Radio. It's time for my favorite segment, Ask the CIO. Hey, call.
Cheers, Insiders! Thanks for hanging out with us this afternoon, this evening, this morning, the middle of the night, wherever it is where you're watching from. Thank you for spending your time with us here and cheering on whatever team it is that you're rooting for in the SEC tournament. Please do us a favor and let's get some more basketball fans here in the chat to help us raise money for SickKids Hospital in Toronto and have a really good time partying it up during March Madness. Hit that like button down below as well. Please share this link out. Every single share is so massive. Please share it out as it helps YouTube recognize that more people are enjoying what they're watching. Now let's get back to the basketball. Good luck to your team.
With Brian passing, Phil Brame here for the closing stretch of quarterfinal number 1's opening half as the top seed and regular season champs from Auburn lead Ole Miss 22-18. And Brian, you look at the stat sheet, I think both head coaches are going to say, you know what, we've defended the 3 really well. And there's some truth in that, but I think both these teams, when they think about the 3s they've taken, they'll feel like there were some open ones they both should have made, as Auburn is 3 of 13 Ole Miss is 3 of 13 from downtown. Auburn's just 2 of 10.
Yeah, perimeter defense is a strength of both of these teams. And you look at Ole Miss to win and upset the number 1 ranked team in the SEC. They're going to have to get some production for some guys that do a lot of scoring for the Rebels. I mean, the hero of yesterday, Sean Padula, hasn't scored in this game. 0 for 1 from the field. Had not many open looks. Bruce Pearl's team doing a good job of limiting the touches of Padula, Matthew Morrell, and Malik Dia, who has been really good at times this year. When he plays well, he's one of the best big men in the SEC, but Auburn has done a nice job on him. Dia, 1 for 7 from the field. The Rebels shooting just 27%. You mentioned their three-point numbers. They've had some open looks, probably more open looks than Chris Beard would have thought at this point, but they haven't been able to knock them down. Auburn has decided to pound the ball inside to Janai Broom, and the Rebels have countered by double teaming, and Broom, a guy that can really pass the ball, has found open teammates, but love what the Rebels are doing on the defensive end. But to compete and upset the Tigers, they're going to have to make some shots on the offensive end.
More free throws coming here for Auburn as they lead 22-18, and Janai Broom will get 2 more. Broom with 7 points to lead all scorers. And, talking about Dia of Ole Miss, this is a homecoming for him in more ways than one. He's from Murfreesboro, which is about 30 minutes southeast of us here in Nashville. His collegiate career started at Vandy, but then he stayed in town, played at Belmont before transferring to Ole Miss as Broom makes both, and it's a 24-18 Auburn lead. Dia yesterday, 19 points, 14 of them in the first half, and credit Dia. He's had 3 games this year where he scored 20 points. all of them were on the road in SEC play. So he's not afraid of the moment. Right now, though, quiet start for him. 3 points on 1 of 7 shooting as the Rebels control in front court. It's Plaque in the Brazilian freshman. His dad played for Brazil in the 96 Olympics. Cross court Murray, now post entry to Dia. Auburn with a nice quick switch to get the taller Johnson on him. It was Pettiford for a moment guarding the big fella for Ole Miss. Now Murray on a switch. Johnson on him, gets to the elbow, kicks up top, and a hurried 3 on the way from Brakefield. Don't think he realized until just before he let it go how close the shot clock was, and he hurried. On the other end, Auburn, Pettiford, step back 3, yes indeed. 27-19, Auburn by 9, and Chris Beard asked for time.
The Tigers can go on a run quickly, getting stops on the defensive end. Ole Miss has had some good looks from the three-point line. The last possession was not one of them. Jermaine Brakefield lost sight of the shot clock, had to force one that started the Auburn fast break, and technically it was early offense as Pettiford able to step back and knock down the 3. One of the best freshman point guards in the country got loose from the three-point line and made the Rebels pay.
Now, if we're going to talk about Dia and his big game hunting, if you will, that is certainly true of the freshman Pettiford of Auburn. His big games this year, Brian, 21 against Houston, 20 at Duke, and then 2 more 20-plus point performances on the road in league play. 24 was his output when Auburn won in Rupp Arena for the first time since the Bush the First administration.
You know, we talk about the experience and the veterans on both of these teams. The most talented player on the floor might be a freshman. And Tahai Pettiford, you see his explosiveness on both ends of the floor, has the ability to knock down the 3, get downhill to the rim, hit a big 3 on that last possession.
Auburn's going to put on the full court press. Dia shields away more and then gives it back to the inbounder Padula. Rebels now facing their largest hill of climb today. 3 to go to the break. They're down 27-18. Got the basketball with Barnes, right wing. He'll go up top and Brakefield. Guarded by Johnson. Crossover dribble, had it poked away. Johnson with a steal. The theft and the run out. Oh, he went for the highlight reel dunk. And it got, I was going to say blocked. They say no, Dia didn't touch it. And it goes all the way out of bounds up the sideline off of Auburn, and Ole Miss. Major bullet dodge there.
My goodness. Whether he blocked it or not, I thought he blocked it. Regardless, he changed the shot. What a great effort play on both ends of the floor. Chaney Johnson didn't realize he could get up that high, but Malik Dia tracked him down. I thought he got the block shot. Fortunate break for the Rebels.
And on the other end, hand check foul out front on Jaheim Hudson of Auburn. That's going to be the 7th team foul on the Tigers. So free throws coming on a 1-and-1 for Ole Miss. Yeah, Johnson went up for that dunk, Brian, like he was trying to damage the rim.
Listen, both guys, Malik Dia, Chaney Johnson, showing you why this league's the best. The athleticism displayed on that one sequence was high level. And talk about the coaching in this game, the animation. Bruce Pearl letting the officials hear it. I think he thought that it should have been Auburn's ball or a foul, but not happy at all. Talking to the men in stripes.
Jalen Murray made the front of the 1-and-1 for Ole Miss. 27-19. 8-point deficit. Murray makes both, so it's 27-20. Really important, Brian. Final 2:39 here for Ole Miss. You feel like if it's single digits at halftime, that's okay. Cannot let Auburn dominate this final stretch.
And this is where the Tigers excel. Ending and beginning half, such an important part of the game. See if the Rebels can get stops.
Pettiford off a catch. He's going to try another deep 3. This one off to the left, no good. Whistle and a rebounding foul spotted by Pat Evans. This is a good, or Pat Adams, rather. This is a good call. Barnes was holding Johnson as the ball kicked away from Auburn's Chaney Johnson. That rebounding foul gives Auburn a second crack at points here.
Yeah, that was the right call. And I call those point of emphasis fouls in the meeting room. That is a foul that you are so focused in on getting defensive rebounds. That's been harped on by your coaching staff for the last 24 hours. And trying to block out, that was the right call, and the Tigers get it back.
They'll lob it up the near sideline. Pettiford retreats well beyond the arc. 12 to shoot. 2:15 to go till halftime. Nice crossover by Pettiford. Wraparound pass. I think he expected somebody in the corner. Baker Mazzara was on the other block, and the turnover on Auburn as the pass goes into the Ole Miss bench.
Yeah, it's like in football. You're trying to figure out, was that the quarterback's fault or did the receiver run the wrong route? I agree. I think Pettiford thought he was going to have a teammate in the corner to dump it off to. The result, a Tiger turnover.
Ole Miss hanging around despite a 1-for-8 stretch from the floor. They're down 7 with the ball. Padula hasn't scored. Wraparound underneath. Dia can't get the shot to drop as he was challenged at the rim by Miles Kelly of Auburn. And it's Kelly to break the timeline. He'll give way to Pettiford. Bruce Pearl up off the bench to hold up the number 4 to call the play. Wonder who the ball's going to. SEC Player of the Year wears number 4. They pull Broom up, does Auburn to catch back to the basket straight away. 8 on the timer. He returns to Pettiford. Now Kelly, he can shoot from beyond the arc. He'll drive baseline, hang in the air, missed shot. Broom can't get the stick back to go as it did everything but fall. Rebound still loose. Ole Miss with a run out and a hit ahead to Padula for the lay-in. That ball will count as Baker Mazzara blocked it. It ball went in. It's a moot point. Baker Mazzara, though, tapped it after it went off the backboard. Fast break points for Ole Miss, Brian. They are within 5.
Yeah, and the first 2 for Sean Padula, Ole Miss's leading scorer, the hero in the game against Arkansas. Auburn's done a great job against him here in the first half. Let's see if that layup gets him going.
Sometimes it's like the first birdie of the round. If it comes on hole 9, it still gets the jar off, or the lid off the jar. As Auburn now with a 5-point lead. Minute to go till the break. Baker Mazzara, quiet first half for him offensively. Tough laner won't fall. Rebound grab by Murray of Ole Miss along the baseline. Murray off 5'11" of him into the front court. Gets to the elbow. Pass to the corner. Deflected by Pettiford of Auburn into the bench. Corey Williams, Auburn assistant, with a nice catch. It'll be Ole Miss to inbounds just below the free throw line with 23 to shoot, 49.1 seconds left in the half. 2-for-1 opportunity here if the Rebels want to shoot quickly. Subs here as Brakefield checks in for Dia. Really balanced scoring, Brian, by Ole Miss. It's Davis who leads with 5. That's the high water mark for Ole Miss, but they've played 8 and 7 have scored.
Yeah, Padula and Morrell with 2 points apiece. They got to get it going in the second half for the Rebels to have a chance.
Inbounds to Murray. Doesn't appear to be in too much of a hurry. Pick and pop with Brakefield. Won't shoot. They're trying to go into the post to Davis. He's not open. Now Padula. An up fake. Underhand pass. Murray open wing. 3 in and out. Rebounded by Johnson of Auburn. 5-second difference between the timers. So Auburn can't quite effectively take the last shot, but they can still wind the clock down here.
The Rebels can't ask for a better shot. Wide open. Ole Miss now 3 for 15, 20% from deep.
Shot clock down to 12. Game clock at 17. Jones controls for Auburn. They lead 27-22. Out front on Brakefield. Gets free down the lane. Runner is good. 6 seconds to play. Ole Miss got to hurry here. Brakefield tosses it in. It's Morrell. Half-court heave at the horn. Almost banked it in, but it was wide right. And on the balance of things, Brian, passing 7 points the Auburn lead as they are up 29-22. That feels about right given the level we've seen from both teams in the first half.
You know, I think Chris Beard could sell his team at halftime. If they continue to do the job like they have on the defensive end, the offense is going to come. Ole Miss in striking distance against the number 1 seed in this SEC tournament, and their leading scorers have struggled on the offensive end. And some of that's due to defense, but really some missed open shots by the Rebels here in the first half.
Meanwhile, Auburn, as advertised as Janai Broom, is the game's only scorer. He has 10. Again, he averages 18 and 11. So Auburn going to their workhorse through the first 20 minutes. Invite you to stay with us. Stephen Hartzell has you covered at halftime. Again, this is the first of a long, long day. Settle in, folks. Quarterfinal number 1 is at the half with the regular season champs from Auburn up on Ole Miss 29-22, and Stevens next on the SEC Radio Network.
The Southeastern Conference. It's the land of legends, the places, the faces, and moments.
And he's going for it. It's a touchdown.
We've seen the confetti fall again and again. And we're not done. It's time for the next generation to make their mark and go from 14 deep to 16 strong. It's a whole new ball game in the SEC, and it just means more.
SEC!
Mercedes-Benz asks you this. What do elite athletes and luxury vehicles have in common? A winning drive for starters. Both are versatile, intelligent, and constantly innovating. Both navigate speed bumps and leave fans with goosebumps. And of course, only the best become stars. Mercedes-Benz, available in electric, gas, or plug-in hybrid. Discover uncompromising luxury at your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. Learn more at MBUSA.com. Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of the SEC.
The best coverage. It's unstoppable. This is the SEC Radio Network.
Johnsonville asks, you know why they're called sausage links? Because they have the power to link people together. Isn't that beautiful? I read that somewhere, or maybe I just made it up. But the point is, instead of stirring the pot on social media to drive people apart, let's stir the jambalaya or the Italian sausage rigatoni. And you just watch. Johnsonville sausage links link people, just like the sausage patties is a way people pat each other on the back. Okay, that I totally made up, but it's also very true. Keep it juicy out there.
Severance Season 2 is now streaming on Apple TV+.
What you all did 5 months ago was one of the most painful moments in the history of this company.
Our message got out. We're famous.
All of us equally, or one of us is like the star?
What did you see? My Audi's wife was Miss Casey.
If you wouldn't find out what happened to her, I'll help.
She's still alive.
I want to see my wife.
He should have left.
Severance. New season now streaming. Only on Apple TV+.
With 20 minutes in the books, it's halftime on the SEC Radio Network. Brought to you by Farm Rich, the official frozen snack of the SEC. Grab a snack. Stats, analysis, and scores are all coming up. Now back to Nashville.
It is halftime at Bridgestone Arena. Top-seeded Auburn leads the 8-seed Ole Miss 29-22. Stephen Hartzell with you courtside at Bridgestone Arena. Welcome into the Farm Rich halftime show. Coming up, we will reset the bracket here on Quarterfinal Friday in the SEC. We'll also check scores from other leagues from coast to coast. Today is absolutely loaded for the Hoops junkies out there in terms of games. Before we do anything, though, let's pause 10 seconds for Station ID here on the SEC Radio Network. First things first, before we get you scores, let's listen back to highlights from the opening 20 minutes. Both teams came out of the gates hitting some early threes, and for top seed Auburn, it was Denver Jones who paced the Tigers early.
Pick and roll up top. Jones heads right, gives up his dribble, hits Broom, back to the basket at the elbow. Turns to face D, sizes him up, now lowers the shoulder, kicks in the corner, no shot there, but he'll swing it up for Jones. Three on the way is good, and Auburn cracks the seal on their second possession. They lead 3-2.
Denver Jones with an early three-pointer for the Tigers. He was feeling it in the early minutes. The Auburn guard hit 2 of those threes in the first couple minutes. And headed to the under-16 timeout, we were knotted at 6 apiece. Problem was, for Auburn, outside of Jones, no one else for the Tigers could make a shot. Auburn went on a scoring drought of nearly 4.5 minutes, and the Rebs would take advantage of the Tigers' shooting woes.
Ole Miss with numbers. Here they come. Morrell, stop and pop. Straight on three, no good. Rebounded by Ole Miss. Out to Murray. Second chance. Caught in the air. Kicks to the corner. Lefty three. On the way and in. It's in from Brakefield. And Ole Miss leads 11-6.
Jay Brakefield with the corner three. That gave Ole Miss the 5-point advantage at 11-6. Auburn would settle down with some buckets, and at the midway point of the first half, this game was actually tied at 11-all. It was Ole Miss's turn to go cold from the floor as the Rebs would hit a 3-minute scoring drought, and when points are at a premium, what a better way to get it going than to feed the All-American and SEC Player of the Year, Janai Broom.
Auburn's 4 of 12 from the floor, but they can have their first lead in a while. Broom, a baseline spin. Oh! There's a flush at the rim on a couple of Rebels who challenged him and came up empty. Broom with 5. Auburn leads 13-11.
Janai Broom with the stuff, the National Player of the Year frontrunner, asserting himself with 7 early points. Auburn would retake the lead, as you heard. Ole Miss led early, but once Auburn started to settle down and lock in defensively, points were very hard to come by. Rebs shot less than 30% as a team for much of the first half. They would go on another scoring drought of over 4 minutes. Auburn wasn't exactly lighting it up offensively either. Largest lead of the Tigers in the first half at one point was a half dozen, or at least it was before Tahad Pettiford started going off.
And a hurried three on the way from Brakefield. Don't think he realized until just before he let it go how close the shot clock was, and he hurried on the other end. Auburn, Pettiford, step back three. Yes, indeed. 27-19, Auburn by 9, and Chris Beard asked for time.
Tahad Pettiford, the freshman, pulling up with the 3. That pushed the lead to 9. Chris Beard calling timeout, as you heard, to try to stop the bleeding. But Ole Miss just could not put it in the hoop. Rebs would close the half, going 2 of their last 11. Ole Miss as a team shooting less than 27% from the floor, including 20%, 3 of 15 from 3 for Ole Miss. Good news if you're a Rebs fan. The Tigers haven't exactly run away and hid with this one, at least not yet, at the break. It is a 7-point Auburn lead, 29-22. Auburn with the advantage on Ole Miss. Spot in the semifinals on Saturday on the line here for the winner. When we come back, we'll keep it rolling here on the Farm Rich Halftime Show. We'll check the bracket in Nashville, get you caught up on scores from across college basketball. Again, Auburn leads Ole Miss by 7, 29-22. We're back to Nashville after this on the SEC Radio Network.
When it comes to action-packed highlights, there's nothing like the SEC. And when it comes to packing your game day celebration with deliciousness, there's nothing quite like Bush's Beans. As the official beans of the SEC, we offer big taste for every fan and every tailgate, even if it never leaves your backyard. Come to think of it, we're kind of like the power conference of flavor. So draw up that beautiful bean game plan and stock up on your favorites. Bush's, that beautiful bean company.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
This is classic. Back to Bridgestone Arena in 1 minute. This is the SEC Radio Network.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports and Outdoors and at academy.com.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm the old basketball hoop in your driveway, and I'm rustier than your game. I mean, seriously, I should have been replaced back in '99. So when you go up for a dunk, I slam down onto your car. And if you don't have the right auto insurance, you might have to jump through a few hoops to pay for this. So get Allstate, save money, and get protected from mayhem like me.
Savings vary based on coverage selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network. Time now for the Regions Scoreboard Update. Regions, official bank of the SEC.
We're at halftime here in Game 1 on Day 3 of the SEC Tournament. Auburn leads Ole Miss 29-22. Still to come, about 25 minutes following the conclusion of this game, we'll get the 4-seed Tennessee Volunteers taking the floor for the first time this week in Nashville. They'll be taking on a Texas team, the 13th-seeded Longhorns, who will be playing their third game in as many days. Texas beat Vanderbilt back in the first round on Wednesday and knocked off rival A&M in double OT yesterday. So Texas Texas taking on Tennessee in our second quarterfinal of the day. Looking ahead to the evening session, Florida and Mizzou hook up. That game is expected to tip around 6 o'clock local time here in Nashville. That'll be followed by our nightcap, 3-seed Alabama, 6-seed Kentucky in what should be a barn burner of a game to close out Friday night. What else is going on across college basketball? The short answer is a lot. Big Ten quarterfinal game, early one in Indianapolis. Michigan State leads Oregon 72-64, less than a minute to play in that one. You got the AAC quarterfinal, Memphis and Wichita State tied at 39 at halftime. That would be a problem if Memphis were to get knocked out of this tournament. The AAC looking at being a one-bid league, but Wichita State, the Shockers, hanging around against Memphis at halftime there. So much basketball still to come later today. You got the ACC tournament semifinals, Duke-UNC Part 3 hooking up in Charlotte. There will be no Cooper Flag for the Blue Devils. He injured his ankle in the quarterfinal win over Georgia Tech yesterday, and Duke head coach John Shire said he does not expect to have Cooper Flag for the remainder of the ACC tournament. X-rays were negative for the All-American freshman, but no Cooper Flag for Duke. You'll get Duke-UNC tonight. That's a 7 o'clock Eastern tip. That'll be followed by Louisville and Clemson. Big 12 tournament semifinals, BYU and Houston. Game number 1 set to go at 7 o'clock Eastern. Texas Tech and Arizona closing up shop in that one. And we got the Big East tournament semifinals at Madison Square Garden coming up later tonight. St. John's Marquette, game number 1, 6:30 Eastern tip. That'll be followed by UConn and Creighton. We'll keep an eye on the scoreboard. We'll keep you posted on everything going on all day here in Nashville, because we are just getting settled into our seats. This is game 1 of 4 here on quarterfinal Friday. Auburn 29, Ole Miss 22. We'll bring back in Phil Brame and Brian Passing for the call of the second half coming up after this on the SEC Radio Network.
In SEC country, the key to our confidence comes from having a goal.
Cover 3, ready?
And knowing just how we're going to get there.
8 seconds, it's plenty of time.
So in these pivotal moments, we come together for inspiration and a plan. Financial confidence in SEC country works that way too, when you and your banker get together to create your personal Regions Green Print plan.
I think that'll really work. Thanks.
So let's huddle up, because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC, member FDIC.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Lobs it up in a right-hand jam. Have mercy.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network.
Sonic Radio. It's time for my favorite segment, Ask the CIO. Hey, caller, you're on.
Hi, a big fan. I used to think I could never love another burger more than my favorite. Then I tried the Sonic Smasher. With its tangy smasher sauce, melty cheese, and hand-smashed Angus patties seared to crispy perfection. How do I tell my favorite burger it's been replaced?
Easy. You don't. It's a burger. It has no feelings.
Sonic Smasher. Try it as a double or triple. Live free, eat Sonic. See menu for details.
We know that sport has the power to change lives on and off the field. But today, the majority of kids in the U.S. are no longer playing sports. As the leader in fueling athletes, Gatorade is committed to helping reverse this trend and creating positive change across our communities. That's why Gatorade has launched Fuel Tomorrow, a new multi-year initiative to help everyone have equal opportunity to play sports and realize their potential. Learn more about Gatorade's commitment to break down barriers and help millions of kids get into the game by visiting Gatorade.com/community.
All right, we're getting ready for the start of the second half. Auburn leading Ole Miss 29-22 as we bring back in the broadcast team of Phil Brame and Brian Passink. Guys, anatomy for an upset if you're Ole Miss involves making shots. They haven't done much of that in the first half.
No, when you shoot 27% from the floor against the best team in college basketball in Auburn, I'm sure that's not exactly how Chris Beard drew it up. And, Brian, when you really get into why you said it going into the into the first half. It's about Sean Padula. Now, granted, Ole Miss, as we talked about, they have 6 guys who score in double figures, but Padula leads them with 15. But more importantly, in this matchup in the regular season, Padula had a combined 43 points in the 2 regular season meetings. Now, yes, Ole Miss lost both those games, but Padula was great. He has 2 points at halftime.
Yeah, I think he had 29 in the first matchup. So if he gets anywhere near that, Ole Miss wins this game. I don't know that that's going to happen, especially with the way that the Tigers defend and the job that Bruce Pearl's team has done on a couple of guys. Sean Padula, the hero from yesterday, hit the game winner at the buzzer to beat Arkansas. Struggled in that game. 0 for 6. He ends up 1 for 7. Pretty big one that he hit. But he needs to get going in the second half along with Matthew Morrell. The good news for Chris Beard and the Rebels is those guys have done it for a long time and have had a lot of success. And the fact that these veterans have struggled in the first 20 minutes will have no bearing on the second 20 minutes, and if anything, will motivate them. Those guys have bounced back from rough halves. They need to have big halves on the offensive end for Ole Miss to have a chance against the Tigers.
And 7 first-half turnovers for Ole Miss. I mean, they averaged just under 9 for the season on a per-game basis. We'll flip into the floor, and Auburn will attack basket to our right. Brian, a quick thought from you before we start. I know the 7-point deficit is what Ole Miss wanted, but the pacing of this game, fairly comfortable given its low score.
I think it's good for the Rebels and also the quality of shots that Ole Miss got in the first half. If they continue to get those, I think they're going to knock some down.
Auburn again opens on offense. They go right into guess who? Janai Broome. 9 and 7 in the first half. He's into double figures immediately with 11.
That was a set coming out of halftime. They knew exactly where they wanted to go with the ball. An easy 2 for Janai Broome.
15 seconds into the half. Auburn equals their largest lead of the afternoon at 9, short-lived as Murray, 5'11", he loves the paint, and he hit a fall-away from 8 right at the SEC logo, and it's back to a 7-point Auburn lead, 31-24. We played 40 seconds here in the second 20 minutes. Starters back out for Auburn as Jones, second leading scorer in the first half. He was the leading scorer in the first half as Broome's bucket put him ahead of him. 9 first-half points for Broome to 10 for Jones, and Auburn turns it over on a baseline pass on this possession. Now here goes Padula, kick to the corner. Davis won't shoot the corner 3. Stalks his way towards the elbow, passes back out. Padula on a switch, has the much taller Cardwell on him, goes to a fall away from 16. Boy, that was pretty. Sean Padula wastes no time, and it's now a 5-point game as Ole Miss opens this half. Brian, 2 for 2 from the floor.
Yeah, I expect Padula and Morrell to be really aggressive on the offensive end, and it's a nice start to the second half for Padula.
Cardwell back to the basket, not a threat as he bounces to the wing and into the post. Dia wrapped all over Janai Broome, and Ole Miss's Malik Dia will commit his second foul. First on either team here in the second half. Baseline inbounds for the Tigers.
The Tigers really good on the defensive end, but they gave some open looks to the Rebels in the first half, and some of their better shooters struggled.
Chris Beard immediately pulls Dia after that second foul, gets Brakefield, the other big guy, back into the game. Now Auburn attacks him. Cardwell backs him down. Forgot the basketball. Here comes Ole Miss, 5 on 4 to the bucket. Layup good, and a foul on Baker Mazzara. Layup by Dre Davis. And Ole Miss has started this half with the intention of getting back in this game. They're down 3, and it could be 2.
The Rebels turning defense into offense, attacking the paint, and right at one of the better shot blockers in the SEC, and Dylan Cardwell. And after the contact, it looked like Cardwell blocked the shot in the basket. Almost looked like a defensive dunk. He was trying to block the shot. Ball goes in the hoop, but Ole Miss can't capitalize at the free throw line.
Rattled in and out. Rebels were 5 of 6 from the stripe in the first half. They come up empty there, 31-28. Auburn gets the ball back with that 3-point lead. Baker Mazzara, after that second foul, now goes to work on offense, and a hip check foul out front on Matthew Morrell. First on him, second on Ole Miss. Thought it was a moderate whistle. Didn't think it was overly tight or overly lax, but we've seen throughout this tournament the whistles tighten in the second half. Guys get tired, and the physicality ratchets up even more.
Yeah, and the physicality in the SEC is one of the things that makes it great. These teams get after each other. It's a great league. It's an old league. You got some big, strong, athletic guys that battle.
Kelly off the catch from Broom off the Auburn inbounds. Now Kelly free down the lane line. That shot went through the rim before Padula is trying to protest to Steven Anderson that it was Cardwell that touched it, but I think the ball was already through the basket. Matters not. Basket's going to count for Kelly of Auburn, and they're back up by 5.
But I think if it was Dylan Cardwell, that would have been offensive goaltending because it hadn't gone through the basket in its entirety. So not sure if they'll have the ability to look at that during the next media timeout. But Padula seemed pretty certain that was not him that hit the ball.
So 2 minutes, 10 seconds into the second half. The basket by Kelly of Auburn, we think, has made it 33-28. We'll confirm at the next dead ball. Ole Miss with a Dre Davis fall away from 15. Hits the front iron and off. Uncontested board for the Tigers. And here they come with Kelly. They'll give way to Jones. Denver Jones, 4 of 5 from the field today. Most efficient scorer for Auburn through that first 20 minutes as it's Kelly, NBA 3 out front. Nothing but nylon on the way home.
Talk about Padula Morrell, a little quiet in the first half. So is Miles Kelly, and he is a guy that can get hot quick from deep. That was deep. It was contested, and it didn't matter for Kelly.
36-28 after that 3. Auburn makes their first triple of the half after going 3 of 12 in the first. Murray out front for Ole Miss really wanted to pull that 3. Baker Mazzara wouldn't let him do it. Now he initiates the dribble. 7 on the timer. Contact down low. Brakefield holding his mouth as Murray all the way to the cup. And he scores through 2 Auburn defenders.
And a really good defender in Baker Mazzara who can block shots. Murray at 5'11" with a finger roll up over Mazzara for a big 2 for the Rebels.
So Jones will break the timeline, give way to Kelly. Now Broom swinging around the perimeter. Baker Mazzara brings it to the lob. Up top, there's Broom on the rim run from the baseline. Saw that play coming a mile away. At least we did. Ole Miss didn't, as Baker Mazzara with the assist. Broom with the flush.
Sometimes you can know it's coming. It doesn't matter. Beautiful pass by Baker Mazzara. And Janai Broom able to catch it and flush it all by himself.
Much more efficient scoring this half than the first as Davis dragged the pivot foot as he went for the fall away. That's a turnover on Ole Miss. They're 8th, and with 16:07 to play, Auburn gets it back.
That was really good defense by Dylan Cardwell. He was pretty proud of himself for blocking that shot. Talked about the animated coaches. You got some animated players as well, as Dylan Cardwell let the Rebels know that he did a good job defensively.
This isn't Neville Arena, but this is a partisan Auburn crowd in amongst all the neutrals who have a rooting interest in one of our final 3 quarterfinals today. But it's an Auburn team. We've seen it so many times on their home court. They feed off the momentum. They might try to smell it here with a 7-point halftime deficit. Now at 8, a 38-30. Auburn up 8. Hand check foul out front on Padula, his second. That'll get us to the timeout. 15:52 left in this opening quarterfinal. 38-30. Auburn in front here on the SEC Radio Network.
Johnsonville asks, know why they're called sausage links? Because they have the power to link people together. Isn't that beautiful? I read that somewhere, or maybe I just made it up. But the point is, instead of stirring the pot on social media to drive people apart, let's stir the jambalaya or the Italian sausage rigatoni. And you just watch. Johnsonville sausage links link people, just like the sausage patties is a way people pat each other on the back. Okay, that I totally made up, but it's also very true. Keep it juicy out there.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm the valet at the game, and I'm as tight on cash as this lot is on space. So I'm going to park your way too big truck in this way too small spot. And if you don't have the right auto insurance, this might leave you crunched for cash. So get Allstate, save money, and get protected from mayhem like me. Who's next?
Savings vary based on coverage selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
On Southwest, everyone can change or cancel their flight without a fee. That means this solo travel queen can stay an extra day on vacay. No fee, baby. And these 2 lovebirds get 1 more day of freedom.
Our kids won't miss us. They're with Meemaw.
Well, this poor guy can bail on the bachelor party a night early.
I'm tired, man.
No change or cancel fees. For real. That's a big flex. Only at Southwest. Fare difference may apply. Failure to cancel a reservation at least 10 minutes prior to scheduled departure may result in forfeited flight credits.
SEC basketball is brought to you all week long by Farm Rich, the official frozen snack of the SEC. Grab a snack. Pfizer, the official pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine awareness sponsor of the SEC. And by Sprouts Farmers Market, official healthy grocer of the SEC.
Back here in Nashville, we've played a little over 4 minutes in the second half of this first quarterfinal. Auburn led by 7 at the half. They're up 8 now at 38-30. And Brian Passing, both teams coming out of the locker room. Some nice offensive adjustments, it appears, as Auburn's made all 4 of their field goals. Ole Miss in their own rights, 4 of 5. What do you like about what you see differently this half offensively?
Well, sometimes it's not overly complicated. Shots are going in. Both teams, I thought, got great looks in the first half, especially Ole Miss, and they were struggling from deep. Some of their better shooters getting good looks from the three-point line the first 20 minutes, and they just weren't going down, and that's basketball. That's college basketball. If you continue to get open looks with your better players, execute your offense, take care of the ball, shots are going to go down. That's been the case for both teams, and Auburn probably okay with that. As they were up at half, now they've extended what was a 6-point lead to 8, and this Rebels team, with the offensive firepower that they have with Sean Padula and Matthew Morrell, and Jalen Murray is a player that can get going, and he might be a difference maker for the Rebels here in the second half, because Auburn's defense is keyed on, as they should be, on Sean Padula and Matthew Morrell. That's going to open things up for the dribble drive, maybe with Jalen Murray. And offensively for Auburn, they're going inside, and you've got Janai Broome, who can score on the inside, and also he's a playmaker on that end of the floor.
Meanwhile, we talked about rebounding before the tip today. Auburn +4 on the backboards, +1 on the offensive glass. It doesn't feel like Ole Miss is being out-rebounded by 4. For the most part, they've held their own on the backboards, but obviously a long way to go as Auburn will inbounds. They get it to Cardwell just inside a half court, and he gives it back to Baker Mazzara, who threw it in. Auburn basketball trying to get the lead to double digits. Baker Mazzara pounds the left-handed dribble, goes high and right to Jones. That cross court. Baker Mazzara whips it to Cardwell in the post. Baseline spin, lost it, has to hoist up a shot on the fall-away. Looked like Larry Bird when he shot it over the basket in Hartford back in the day. That one hits the back of the backboard, and it's over to Ole Miss.
Yeah, Birds didn't hit the back of the backboard on that play you were referencing.
No, it didn't.
But had to get it up. That was good defense and a big stop by the Rebels.
Auburn now with 7 turnovers. That's officially credited as a turnover. Rebel basketball, Dia trying to get the handoff to Morrell. Not there. Good tight defense by Auburn in the half court. Tigers have picked up full court, but other than that, it's been pretty much exclusively half-court man by both teams. Padula contested 3, blocked right back in his face. As the timer expires, though, Dia picks up the loose ball. He was open, and he makes the 3.
How about that? We talked about all the open missed shots by the Rebels. That was a great defensive possession by the Tigers. The block shot goes right to the Rebels, who knocked down a desperation 3-pointer at the shot clock buzzer.
Yeah, 5-point lead, and Auburn did absolutely nothing wrong there defensively. And the answer there, maybe the basketball gods equaling things out as Baker Mazzara hits a contested right wing 3, and Auburn back up 8, 41-33.
Big time play by Baker Mazzara. That one was well contested.
The great basketball philosopher Rasheed Wallace once said, "Ball don't lie." As Ole Miss goes to work again. Oh, a tough little fadeaway from the short corner. Brakefield over Cardwell. Got that one to drop, 41-36. Brakefield with 5 today.
Kind of an old school looking move by an older player. Brakefield off one leg, knocks down the fadeaway.
Pick and roll Auburn. Cardwell passes to the far corner, and Broome now returns it up top, and Kelly guarded by Morrell. Active hands. Kelly step back 3, no. Rebound though, Broome on the offensive glass. Ole Miss doubles. Kick out. 3 on the way. No, as that one wouldn't drop for Jones. And then a rebounding foul on Auburn. That's Baker Mazzara. That is 3 on the senior.
Well, these Auburn shooters look like it's going down every time it leaves their hands. That's why they spent most of the season as #1 in the country, and still, I think, probably the likely #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament, because Janai Broome may very well be National Player of the Year, but they surround him with some great shooters from the perimeter. Ole Miss fortunate to get a stop on that possession.
Pettiford and Johnson enter for Auburn. Baker Mazzara, one of the 2 Auburn Tigers, who takes a seat on that dead ball sub. Ole Miss with the basketball. 2-possession game with 13:30 to play here in quarterfinal number 1. It's Murray, guarded by Broom. Height disadvantage on Murray, doesn't care, pulls the 3, missed it. Rebound batted in the air by Ole Miss, but it's grabbed by Auburn's Johnson. Tigers quickly in the front court. Kelly post entry to Broom. Broom surveys, waits for the traffic to clear. Baseline spin, offhand with the righty off the window. 13 minutes to go, and Janai Broom puts his team back up 8 as he scored 15.
Janai Broom so smooth on the inside. Mentioned his high basketball IQ. They were playing him to go left. He ends up coming back right and finishes with an easy layup.
Brakefield, a nice feed underneath. Layup good from Dia. He lost Pettiford on a backdoor baseline cut. Basket for Ole Miss trims the lead to 6. 12:40 to play. It's 43-37 Auburn.
Pettiford telling his coach, my bad. Made a defensive mistake. One of the few defensive mistakes by the Tigers in this one.
Both teams throwing offensive haymakers after defense ruled the day in the first half. Broom, same spot, short corner left. Backs down, fall away from the baseline, no. Johnson with the offensive board, blew the stick back. Ole Miss taps out for a run-out rebound in Murray. Murray, beyond the arc, hesitates, lost the basketball in a steal. Johnson at the deck, Murray falls right on top of him. Jump ball, Rebels get it as Auburn started the half on offense.
Rebels with some uncharacteristic turnovers in this game, but Jalen Murray getting on the floor for the loose ball, gets the tie up, knows he made a mistake, but the hustle play gives it back to the Rebels.
We are pacing for more of what we expected, kind of 35, 40 points per half from these teams here thus far in the second 20 minutes. Again, it was a 29-22 Auburn halftime lead, a defensive struggle with some open misses in the first 20 minutes. Both teams starting to heat up. Here's Padula. Retreated in the backcourt on the catch. Contested 3 over Broom. Wide left. Rebound more of Auburn. Here they come. Pettiford wanted to throw the full court lob. Thought better of it. Instead, left wing to right wing. Kelly on a runner. Off the window, and it rattles in.
Well, the scouting report says make him a driver because he shoots the 3 so well, but has a nice mid-range game, the pump fake, and the soft touch off the glass.
Kelly now with 9 points. It's a 45-37 Auburn lead. Media stoppage coming at the next dead ball. Ole Miss bounces it. Short corner right. Davis kicks out to Padula on a curl. Gets cut off and has to retreat. 6 on the timer. Padula gets to the elbow. Another fall away. This one no good. Didn't hit the rim. Auburn has the miss either way. Tigers push 3-on-3 as reinforcements arrive for both teams. We'll go 5-on-5. Padula, though, with the steal. He's going to go in on Broom. Tries an up fake. Broom doesn't bite. Padula, though, just banks it in with the left hand.
Auburn's does such a good job defensively on Sean Padula. Really, with a few exceptions, the only time he's gotten free is off defensive plays. Nice job to get the steal and the finish over Broom.
6-point game on Padula's 6-point. He's the Ole Miss leader at 15 a ball game. Auburn now trying to build on this 45-39 lead. Broom missed the runner, but he was fouled, and he'll shoot 2 more from the line after the timeout. So 10:46 left. Inching toward the business end of this first quarterfinal. Auburn to shoot 2, and they lead by 6. Over Ole Miss, 45-39 here on the SEC Radio Network.
At Sprouts Farmers Market, we're all about fresh, healthy, and delicious. Every shopping trip is an adventure, with new and ahead-of-the-trend products hitting the shelves every month. From the latest mouth-watering vegan and gluten-free cookies to yummy plant-based protein bars, there's always something new to explore. Plus, find more than 2,800 Sprouts brand items filled with incredible flavor and better-for-you ingredients. Visit your neighborhood Sprouts today, the official grocer of the Southeastern Conference.
How about this? Back to Music City after this timeout. This is the SEC Radio Network.
And if you want to grab a snack, grab a Farm-Rich snack. Something about that song just makes me hungry. Well, any requests? Oh, how about some mozzarella sticks instead? Folks, it's time for me to grab a snack. Feel free to do the same. You can find Farm-Rich in the freezer aisle. This next one goes out to all the cheese lovers out there.
We know that sport has the power to change lives on and off the field, but today, the majority of kids in the U.S. are no longer playing sports. As the leader in fueling athletes, Gatorade is committed to helping reverse this trend and creating positive change across our communities. That's why Gatorade has launched Fuel Tomorrow, a new multi-year initiative to help everyone have equal opportunity to play sports and realize their potential. Learn more about Gatorade's commitment to break down barriers and help millions of kids get into the game by visiting Gatorade.com/community.
Auburn, the regular season SEC champs, up on the number 8 seed Ole Miss. Brian Passink, these Rebels will not go away despite the fact Auburn is taller, they're longer, just an athleticism advantage for Auburn today, and that's one of the calling cards of this Tiger program.
Yeah, this Auburn team, maybe the best team in college basketball. We're about to find out as March Madness gets underway with championship week and, of course, the NCAA tournament starting next week. I expect there to be 14 SEC schools, a record. Never seen anything like what we've seen this year in the SEC. And the Auburn Tigers won the league. And to win this league this year, you got to be doing a whole lot right. And Bruce Pearl's team has. And they're more than just a great offensive team. They're more than just Janai Broome. They're the nation's #1 offense in efficiency, but they're also a top 15 defense. Their length, their athleticism, their toughness on the perimeter has been great all year. It's been big in this game because Ole Miss, to win and upset the Auburn Tigers, they have to have production from Matthew Morrell and Sean Batula and on the perimeter. And the length of Auburn is making a difference in this game. Sean Padula is one of the best players in this league, averaging about 15 a game in SEC play. He can't get free on the offensive end. Obviously, part of the game plan for Bruce Pearl is to limit the touches and open shots for Sean Padula and Matthew Morrell. They've got nothing easy in this game. And even though Auburn hasn't shot it as well as they typically do, give Ole Miss defense credit. They've gotten it done with defense against the perimeter players of Ole Miss. That can flip quickly because these Ole Miss players, they're veterans. They can get it going quick, especially from the three-point line. And for the Rebels to come back and win this game is probably what's going to have to happen.
Janai Broome will shoot 2 free throws there. Death taxes and Broome double-doubles as he's got 15 and 10. Make it 16 and 10 as the first one is in. Broome averages 18.5 points and 10.5 rebounds per game. Over 3 assists as well as the lefty tries to complete the pair, and he rattles this one in and out. So 46-39, the Auburn lead is 7, 10:40 to play in this one. Padula across the midcourt stripe and the giant SEC logo on the floor here in Nashville at Bridgestone Arena. Murray off a curl, open left wing, bit beyond his range. Calls Dia out for a pick, whips a pass underneath. Davis shot, bouncing, no, but a foul called as Dre Davis took the contact from a perplexed Chaney Johnson, who will be whistled for his first foul.
That was a nice cut. The timing of that play, Jalen Murray able to find Davis. Cuts to the basket, almost a three-point play opportunity. Ball goes off the back rim, but beautiful cut and a chance to cut into this Auburn lead at the line.
46-39. Davis today 0 for 1 is at the line, that is. He has 9 points, 2 free throws coming, and he rattles the first one home. There's a sub here for Auburn. Cardwell in for Broome. More exits as Kelly re-enters as well for Bruce Pearl, his coaching staff down to our right. Second free throw from Davis on the way, bouncing off the heel and off. So both teams go 1 of 2 in their last couple of trips to the line, and it's back to a 6-point game. 10:20 left on a winding second half clock. Pettiford out front, heads right off a curl, or off a pick rather, down the lane, had it stripped, ball loose. Whistle spotted along the baseline. Foul on Ole Miss for a push. I think they got David Barnes with the foul. And it is. That'll be the second on him.
Nice initial defense by Ole Miss. It looked like Pettiford was going to get stripped. I think it was Jalen Murray, who stripped the ball, but soon after that, the foul, and Auburn gets it back.
Nearly a turnover. Barnes actually was guilty of his third foul, but he stays in. Nearly stole the ball from Pettiford, but Auburn retains the possession. 8 on the timer, 10 to go in the game. Pettiford out front off a pick with 4, 3, down the right lane line. A little underhanded scoot. No, didn't hit the rim. And on the loose ball, maybe a bit of a rough break on Ole Miss. They look like they might have had a 2-on-1. Instead, the shot clock violation. They'll have to reset with a dead ball.
Great defense by the Rebels, and I think the shot clock went off right before Ole Miss got possession. Have a chance to set up their half-court offense and try to cut further into this Auburn lead, but Auburn's done a really good job keeping the Rebels at arm's length throughout this game. Going inside and to Janai Broome, making plays at the rim and open teammates. He's on the bench resting right now. Be a time that Ole Miss might be able to cut into this lead with the All-American sitting on the bench for Bruce Pearl.
Both teams shooting better than 60% from the floor this half. Percentage going up for Ole Miss as Padula lost Pettiford, who stumbled down, and then Padula banks it in. He's got 8, starting to heat up after a very quiet first half. 4-point game, 46-42. Auburn now with a throwaway. Ole Miss a chance to run. Murray hacked. It was call it a professional foul by Tahad Pettiford. He knew what he was doing, getting in the way of Jalen Murray to prevent the fast break. Foul charge to number 0 in white. That'll be his first. And team foul number 4 on the Tigers.
Smart play by the Tigers. Ole Miss nowhere near the bonus. Auburn's such a good team defensively with the length, with Janai Broome, his ability to block shots. He and Dylan Cardwell around the basket. The one Achilles heel for Auburn on the defensive end is they typically commit a lot of fouls and the opponent gets a lot of free throws. So far in this game, they've done a nice job of defending without fouling. Ole Miss hasn't been able to get to the line as much as they need to beat the Tigers so far.
9:15 to play. Barnes of Ole Miss is the only player on either team with 3 fouls, but it's Rebel basketball down by 4 as it's Davis backing down Johnson. Spins, up fake, shot, through contact. He muscles his way to the cup, puts it in, and it's a 2-point game in Nashville with 9 to go.
Smart play by Ole Miss with Janai Broome on the bench, the best shot blocker in the SEC. Ole Miss has gone inside 2 straight trips, and the result, 2 layups.
And where does Auburn go, Brian, for offense? Here's Baker Mazzara. Lobs to Johnson. Mid-post right. Goes to work. They want to shade him to the baseline. Dribbles. Long cross-court pass grabbed by Kelly. Got to hurry here. 3 to shoot. Kelly, step back 3. Bouncing no. Dia has it. And then Cardwell took it away from him. Whistle and a foul. And the folks in the orange and blue less than thrilled with the call.
Well, not a lot of contact right there. Bruce Pearl not pleased with the call. It was a good block out, but it looked like Dylan Cardwell at 6'11", able to go up and grab it cleanly. He'll have to check out in foul trouble, but...
And Broome back in, Brian, and yeah, that was one where Dia just showed a little too much of the ball to Cardwell, and it worked out. You got the foul call, but that was risky.
Yeah, Dylan Cardwell check out. Not a bad option for Bruce Pearl to bring in his All-American back in this game.
Ole Miss can take the lead with a 3. 46-44. 8:10 to go. Murray pestered out front, down the lane. Oh, the banker was too strong. Broome clears the miss. Auburn now a secondary break. Kelly will hold things up and work in the half court. Johnson mismatch on Padula in the post. Backs him down. Tough shot. It won't fall. Well, the lid from the first half has reappeared for both teams the last few trips. As they've gotten good looks, it won't fall. And it's still Ole Miss down by 2. They'll try again. Murray dribbles under the bucket, kicks Davis left corner. 12 to shoot, 7:35 to go. Davis trying to go to work on Johnson. Body, spins back, lost it. Baker Mazzara the takeaway. Up court, Kelly fouled on the reach. That's going to be on Sean Padula or Jalen Murray. Believe it's Murray. That's his first. We'll sort it out during the timeout. Is that team foul number 6 on Ole Miss. So a floor foul. Auburn ball when we come back. Got a good one brewing. Quarterfinal number 1, and the regular season champs are only up by 2. 46-44 on the SEC Radio Network.
When it comes to action-packed highlights, there's nothing like the SEC. And when it comes to packing your game day celebration with deliciousness, there's nothing quite like Bush's Beans. As the official beans of the SEC, we offer big taste for every fan and every tailgate, even if it never leaves your backyard. Come to think of it, we're kind of like the power conference of flavor. So draw up that beautiful bean game plan and stock up on your favorites. Bush's, that beautiful bean company.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports and Outdoors and at academy.com.
SEC basketball is brought to you all week long by Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. By Johnsonville, reminding everyone to keep it fun, keep it together, and keep it juicy. And by the Sonic Smasher. Live free. Eat Sonic.
Back here in Nashville, quarterfinal number 1 with Auburn 46, Ole Miss 44. That's the score with 7:29 to play in this first of 4 quarterfinals. Brian Passink, the last time these teams met, and they met twice in the regular season, the last time, the return trip to Auburn, the Tigers hammered the Rebs by 30. There's a funny thing that happens sometimes when you see a team for the third time. What is Ole Miss doing that is allowing them to stay in this game?
Well, first of all, Ole Miss is a really good team, and they're clearly in the NCAA tournament. I think if they get their guys going on the offensive end, they're potentially a second weekend team. There's a bunch of those in this league, and Auburn is a team that wants to get back on track, having lost their last 2 regular season games in SEC play, and they're getting Auburn's best shot, in Ole Miss hanging right there with the number 1 seed in this SEC tournament, and doing it in a game where they haven't had their typical scoring punch from some of their veteran perimeter players. But Ole Miss has just been tough and grinding out, doing the job on the backboard, which we felt like they would need to do. And they look like a Chris Beard coach team. That's what we're seeing in this one, with toughness and rebounding, and it's not always pretty on the offensive end. But if you would have told me that Sean Padula and Matthew Morrell would struggle a little bit in terms of getting open looks from the perimeter, and the Rebels have turned it over a little bit more than they typically do, I would have not been optimistic about their chances. But here we are, 7.5 minutes to play, a 2-point game. The Rebels just down 2 and very capable of winning this game. This is what Rebels fans wanted, and Chris Beard and his staff, to be in a position right now against Auburn to win this game. Should be a fun 7.5 minutes.
Auburn basketball, and Auburn will be in the 1-1 on the next foul on Ole Miss as Tigers get it into Broome. No surprise there. Now it's Johnson straight away, whips it near side, and Jones. Baker Mazzara setting up shop at the head of the key. They get it to him now, 14 to shoot. Broome now, right block. There's the lob to him. Whistle and a foul on Dre Davis, who got his hand caught in the cookie jar. And Janai Broome, who leads Auburn with 16 points, is going to get a 1-1 here with 7:12 to play, and his team up by 2.
Not surprised that Auburn goes inside to Janai Broome after the timeout. Pretty good defense, a little too aggressive there. And it's been 3.5 minutes since the Tigers have scored, and a chance at the line for Janai Broome to change that.
Today at the line, he's 6 of 8, 6 of 9 as he missed that one. Good box out by Brakefield of Ole Miss. Rebels have not led in a long time. We had 5 lead changes. They were all in the first 6 minutes of the game. Since then, it's been all Auburn, and a foul out front. That'll be on Baker Mazzara. Chad Baker Mazzara with 4. That team foul on Auburn will be their 6th. So the pace of this game with the fouls might slow a little bit, and a free throw shooting contest. Auburn on the season, Brian, 75% as a team, Ole Miss 74%. So those are good numbers for a team in terms of team field goal shooting as Padula catches in backcourt. Shot clock was at 22, so plenty of time on the possession here. Bad switch by Auburn. Padula, wraparound lay-in. Got it to go. He was worried about Broom. I don't know if he needed to do that, but he did, and he scored, and we're tied.
Had the proper English on the ball. I thought he overshot that, but the soft touch, it goes down.
46 all. Auburn trying to get it to Broom. Padula undersized, battling with him in the post. Johnson to the bucket, won't shoot. Out to Moore. He will. 3-0. Johnson offensive board. Kick out Jones. His three grazes the front of the rim. Third try for Auburn, and a foul on the floor as Moore would not quit on the offensive glass. He'll get free throws here on the foul.
Well, we've been bragging on Ole Miss and the job they've done rebounding the ball until that possession. 3 opportunities. It'll be Auburn at the line for a 1-and-1.
And Dre Davis, Brian, leads Ole Miss in scoring with 12. Padula now in double figures with 10. But that was Davis's third foul with 6:26 to play. And he will take a seat, replaced by Dia.
Talked about free throws, the importance of those late game situations. Also, 2 teams that shoot it well, and Auburn a chance at the line.
They brick the front end of the 1-and-1, so that's back-to-back 1-and-1s where Auburn has missed the front end. Keep that handy as the loose ball rebound goes out of bounds, and Ole Miss gets it. Padula with a head of steam breaks the timeline. Thought he might try to get a cheap bucket here. Now drives to the bucket. Got caught in the air. Bodied. No foul called. Good defense by Jones of Auburn. He has the loose ball on the missed shot. Around a pick. Jones, head of the key. Whips it opposite corner. Johnson loads up and connects. 3-ball there for Auburn. 49-46. 6 to go.
And that's what Chaney Johnson gives you that Dylan Caldwell doesn't. The ability to space the floor to threat from the three-point line.
His 14th 3 of the season. On the other end, Murray challenged at the rim by Broom. Missed the shot. Tigers come the other way. Great defense there to play without fouling. Kelly gives way to Denver Jones as Bruce Pearl signals play number 2. It's number 2 with a basketball. Jones stripped going up, taken away. It was Murray who slapped it. Dia grabbed the loose ball.
That's great defense by Jalen Murray. Looked like Denver Jones was going to get in the lane, either get a shot or get fouled, but the quick hands by a quick player in Murray.
5:18 left. Ole Miss with the ball down 49-46. Padula bounces Brakefield. Outside the lane, he'll turn. Back his way down on Moore. Baseline spin. Lefty shot, no. Missed everything. Dia grabs it. Fall away from the baseline, won't drop. And Auburn grabs the board this time. Kelly, who grabbed that, will give way and let Jones run the half-court set. 4:50 to play. Auburn with it in a 49-46 lead. Jones, cross-court Kelly. NBA range, won't pull yet. He's thinking about it. Now here comes Broom. Along the baseline, long 2-pointer range. Broom through contact. Had it stripped and taken away. Morrell with the theft. Auburn turning it over. They can't put Ole Miss away yet. Padula won't shoot. To the baseline. Here goes Brakefield. Got Broom in the air. Missed the shot and a late foul call coming. I think it was the right call. Auburn fans are mad because the call waited until the shot was missed, and so there'll be free throws for Ole Miss.
Listen, I understand the frustration because he did absolutely wait to see if that shot was going in or out. And my question is, why does that matter? If it's a foul, it's a foul. It should have been an and one if it goes in. But because of the miss, ends up calling the foul, and Brakefield had a chance at the free throw line. A couple of big free throws coming up.
Now the foul on Broom is it's almost a moot point. That was his first foul. And there's 4:24 to go as Brakefield, high arcing free throw connects. Ole Miss as a team today, 7 of 10 at the line. Auburn 7 of 12. It didn't sound all that bad, but again, 2 front-end 1-and-1 misses in the last 2 minutes for the Tigers. 49-47. Brakefield will have one more coming. As a sub for Auburn, Moore out. Baker Mazzara back in. Chad Baker Mazzara playing with 4 fouls. Only player on either team with 4. Brakefield misses this one, and Broom boxes out Dia for the Ole Miss, or for the Auburn rebound rather, after the Ole Miss miss at the line. 4:15 to go. Tiger basketball. Goal to our right. Here's Jones. Baker Mazzara, foul line extended right. Post entry to Broom through a double. What strength to put it in with the arm.
Well, it was a double team, but it was two guards trying to guard a 6'10", 240-pound post player in Janai Broom. Went up quickly before a third and taller defender could get there. Broom off the glass and in, a chance for a huge three-point play.
Padula's third foul. It's a great point. And a lot of these teams, because they switch the pick-and-roll action so much, you get situations like that. Good scheming by Auburn to not only get Broom on a guard, but in a set where the help was going to come from a guard too.
And you got to go quick and be decisive in what you do. Auburn is been able to do that, and Janai Broom, recognizing that he had a size advantage, even though it was a double team, able to get it up and off the glass and in, and converts from the line.
Three-point play, 52-47. Here comes the Auburn crowd with this 5-point lead. 4:03 to play. Padula, step back, three on the way, air ball. Going into the photographers is Davis to try to save it, but that was over the end line. And with 3:56 to go, Auburn gets it back with the momentum and a 5-point lead. We'll take a timeout as well. Back to Nashville for the finish after this on the SEC Radio Network.
The Southeastern Conference. It's the land of legends, the places, the faces, and moments.
And he's going for it. It's a touchdown!
We've seen the confetti fall again and again. We're not done. It's time for the next generation to make their mark and go from 14 deep to 16 strong. It's a whole new ball game in the SEC, and it just means more. You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network.
In SEC country, the key to our confidence comes from having a goal.
Number 3, ready?
And knowing just how we're going to get there.
8 seconds, it's plenty of time.
So in these pivotal moments, we come together for inspiration and a plan. Financial confidence in SEC country works that way too, when you and your banker get together to create your personal Regions Green Print plan.
I think that'll really work. Thanks.
So let's huddle up, because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC, member FDIC.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
(52-47). Top seed Auburn over 8 seed Ole Miss in the first of the 4 quarterfinals today in Nashville at the SEC tournament. The rest of the table today: Tennessee and Texas. After this, night session of Florida and Mizzou, followed by Kentucky and Alabama. Brian Passing, we have seen Auburn go up by 5, starting to turn the screws a little bit on defense. This Ole Miss team for the half is shooting 50% at 11 of 22, but they're just one of their last 7.
Yeah, Auburn's defense has really ramped up. We've talked about the nation's #1 offense in Auburn. Defensively, they're top 15, but when they want to be, they're as good as anybody on that end of the floor. They're one of the best shot blocking teams in the country, and they blocked some, but they've changed a lot of shots. And that last sequence defensively for Auburn is a great example. Sean Padula, one of the best three-point shooters in this league, he hasn't been able to get free from the three-point line. Had a matchup that he liked. Had Janai Broom, 6'10", 240-pound senior. Advantage from a quickness standpoint to Ole Miss. But Janai Broom able to stay with him, change the shot. And Janai Broom, the leading shot blocker in this league, blocks a lot of shots, changes a lot more shots. Ole Miss has missed some point-blank looks at the rim. Some have been contested. Some you're looking around for Janai Broom. And Dylan Cardwell Teams miss a lot of layups against the Auburn Tigers, and that is not by accident. They have length, they have athleticism, and they go after it around the basket.
Now, on the other end of the floor, as Bruce Pearl and his staff huddled during that timeout, as they try to put this one to bed offensively, I'm going to guess you run everything through Janai Broome. He loves that short corner spot where he can turn towards the basket in the middle of the lane to his right shoulder and shoot his lefty hook. Is it too simplistic to say just run your best set until they prove they can stop it?
Yeah, Auburn so good. Running the flex, trying to get the ball to Janai Broome, but they've got shooters on the perimeter. If you want to help, you may give up an open three to a top three-point shooter in this league.
Ole Miss presses in backcourt, but Broome comes into backcourt to make the catch and give way to Jones. Now, Auburn in the half court, pick and roll. Broome gives an up fake, another to the bucket, uncontested lay in. Beautiful offense on the feed by Baker Mazzara, and Broome has 21.
That was too easy for Auburn. Ole Miss not able to get the stop, an easy deuce after the pretty pass from Baker Mazzara.
Auburn by 7. That's the largest this lead has been in a long time. They've led by only as 9 is as large as it's been today. Ole Miss now trying to get an answer. A three in the corner, rattles around and out from Morrell. It won't drop, and he's been quiet today. Just 2 points on 0 of 5 shooting.
Ole Miss had open looks from the three-point line in the first half. They really haven't in the second. Morrell was able to get it off, but that was well defended and contested.
Another pick and roll. Jones to the bucket. Didn't get that one to go. Would have been an NBA continuation, and I think we're going to see, I don't know if that was a goaltend or not. There was certainly contact with the basketball.
I think they may count it because
then the
defender slapped the backboard as the ball was going off, and by rule, that is a defensive goaltend. It may be an and one. And, hey, it wouldn't be a college basketball game in 2025 if the officials weren't at the monitor, so they're going to go check this one out.
And while they do, we're going to check out for 10 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves. 10 seconds on the SEC Radio Network. So for the moment, it is a 56-47 lead for Auburn on the basket and one by Denver Jones. He's got 12, but it's Janai Broome, surprise, surprise, to lead Auburn today. 21-13 for the Tiger. Big man is getting a look at the replay on a potential goaltending call. And, Brian, I think your eagle eyes might have seen it. I think that ball hit the backboard just slightly before Dia of Ole Miss touched it. And so if it stands, it would be an and one opportunity for Auburn to get a 10-point lead, which would be the first time all day that the lead has been double digits. Said this earlier, but we had 5 lead changes, and all of those came early in the game. Now, Ole Miss has tied the game in the second half, but they've never led, as we're going to get the review concluding here shortly. So it's an and one, 56-47, and even 3 minutes to play, Ole Miss could be down by 10. But, Brian, the thought of there's just something psychological about getting the lead, and though Ole Miss tied it and was 1,000% back in this game, it's just not quite the same, is it?
No, and I thought Auburn really stepped up, and even though the shooting percentages look pretty similar from the first half to the second half, the defensive effort by the Tigers here in the second 20 minutes has been outstanding. Nothing easy for Ole Miss.
And Jones converts the and one, so he's got 13 in a supporting role of leading man, Janai Broome's 21. Auburn at the behest of number 4. Their crowd up on its feet as Padula lets it roll near midcourt. Around a screen from Dia. Ole Miss's leading scorer. Kicks to Barnes into the paint. He was hacked going in. That's going to be more with the foul. Team foul 8 on Auburn. So 1-1. Great recipe for a comeback late. Get the clock stopped and get to the line.
Yeah, still plenty of time for the Rebels if they could get stops. And this is exactly what you want if you're Chris Beard. And that's a chance to cut into the lead with the clock stopped. Ole Miss will go to the line. A 1-1. Big front end coming up, but defensively, the Rebels need stops. Need to start stacking up some stops on that end of the floor and cut into this lead. Can't try to get it all back in a couple possessions. 3 minutes in this league, plenty of time.
1-1. Barnes connects. He's a good free throw shooter at over 72%. And that bucket snaps an 8-0 Auburn run over the last minute 20. That's more of the Auburn spurt that we've seen throughout SEC play. But 57-48. Ole Miss down 9. Barnes with the second free throw that he rips the net. And it's 8. Still anybody's game right now. Auburn in a good position, but there's a long way to go in this one. Just ask Kentucky and Oklahoma. That one looked dead and buried last night, and the Sooners are probably unlucky they didn't come back from 12 late to win.
And Ole Miss extending their defensive pressure in the full court. Now with 15 on the shot clock, got to defend without fouling.
Lazy pass up top, stolen by Dia. He'll take it in for the dunk. Broom, I don't think he really wanted that pass, and it was a long pass from Kelly. Picked off, and that's a great recipe. We talked about dead ball scoring. How about an easy steal and a pick-6 dunk?
Yeah, that's a mistake by Miles Kelly, a veteran. Lazy cross-court pass, and the Rebels capitalize.
2-possession game, 2:15 to go. Here's Johnson down the lane, stops, trying to give out to Broom, which he does. Broom beyond the arc, left to the head of the circle. 2:07 to go, 8 to shoot. Broom, step back 3, banker, no, wide left. Ole Miss now a chance to run. Padula, he's been quiet over the last few minutes. Ole Miss leading scorer with 10. He exchanges passes, does Padula with Barnes. Now off the screen from Dia. Padula to the short corner. In amongst the trees. Kicks up top. Murray. Open 3. No. Rebound, though. Loose. Deflected. Over the inline. Saved by Ole Miss. Still loose. And Broom tiptoes the baseline. Up court Auburn. Back on Mazara with a two-handed hammer in the arm.
What a huge sequence in this game. The Rebels get a wide open 3. Look like they're going to get an offensive rebound. Ball is going out of bounds. Auburn able to save it, and instead of 3 in the column of the Ole Miss Rebels, it's an and one potential three-point play as Chad Baker-Mazara goes up, throws it down. Auburn wanted to run clock, except they realized they had numbers and easy opportunity at the basket to extend this lead. What a huge sequence in this game.
59-51. Baker-Mazara with just 6 points. But those were 2 large ones to put his team up 8 with 1:34 to go. And he makes the free throw, 60-51. Wow, did that turn quickly. Padula now on the other end for Ole Miss. Rebels need points. They need them in a hurry. Murray trying to go one-on-one. Retreats beyond the arc. Now to the bucket. Caught in the air. Hits a cutting Dia to the bucket. Banker, no. Foul on Broom.
What a great catch by Malik Dia. Galen Murray passed the ball to him. I think he thought he was going to stay out on the perimeter, but the cut at the last minute and the great hands by Dia. Almost an and one opportunity. Went off the glass, took the contact. Chance for a couple free throws to cut into this Auburn lead.
60-51. 1:19 to play. Malik Dia's first free throw. Ooh, rim almost popped it out, but it settles in. 60-52. And a timeout called. This is actually going to go full. We haven't had a coach called timeout yet. So with 1:19 to play, we step aside. We will have the finish in Nashville. Quarterfinal number 1 on the way. The other side of this timeout.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun.
What's up, basketball fans? Thanks so much for hanging out with us this afternoon for the SEC tournament. The first matchup of the day is underway, and we are so glad you're here hanging out with us. Now, please, it's the time of the show for you to let us know where in the world you're watching from. You see the link that's pinned in the chat? You see the link that's getting spammed out in the chat right now? Click that, and that's going to take you to our website to show you where everyone in the world is watching from. We'll see you back in the chat. Thanks for letting us know. Thanks for checking out the new website as well, and good luck to your team.
communities. That's why Gatorade has launched Fuel Tomorrow, a new multi-year initiative to help everyone have equal opportunity to play sports and realize their potential. Learn more about Gatorade's commitment to break down barriers and help millions of kids get into the game by visiting Gatorade.com/community.
SEC basketball is brought to you all week long by Farm Rich, the official frozen snack of the SEC. Grab a snack. Pfizer, the official pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine awareness sponsor of the SEC. And by Sprouts Farmers Market, official healthy grocer of the SEC.
So Chris Beard burns one of his 2 remaining timeouts with 1:19 to play. Malik Dia will have one more free throw coming for Ole Miss as the Rebels trail Auburn 60-52. Again, just 1:19 left in this opening quarterfinal. With Brian passing, Bill Brame here. Brian, what do you think Ole Miss is talking about in that huddle down to our left right now?
Well, they're just going over their strategy, and that is on the defensive end. I think you can play out this next possession without fouling and try to get a stop, try to get a steal, and you got to go quick, obviously, and after that, time and score is going to dictate probably sending Auburn to the free throw line. It also gives Coach Beard and his staff a chance to go through who are the free throw shooters and who are the guys that you don't want to foul. Now, Bruce Pearl, countering, is going to want to make sure that his best ball handlers and free throw shooters have the ball in their hands. So I don't expect Janai Broome to handle it much against full court pressure because Ole Miss in a tough spot, but still plenty of time. And we've seen it, talking about the Kentucky-Oklahoma game last night. I mean, that game was over a couple of different times until it wasn't because of defense and getting stops. Things can turn quickly. Ole Miss has played well defensively in this game. They're going to need some stops, create some turnovers. Auburn, a veteran team, take care of the ball, go line, and convert at the free throw line in this game and advance to the semifinals.
And this is a big free throw for Dia because if he makes, stands to reason it's a lot easier to put a full court press on after a free throw make. So we'll see what Dia does here. So again, Dia to the stripe. He's a lefty, righty actually. Made the first free throw, makes the second. So 60-53. Auburn's lead is 7. Tigers will inbound as the Rebels pick up in full court. They do not guard Baker Mazzara, the inbounder, and Auburn throws it away. Padula with the steal. He scores. That's how they draw it up. 60-55. Timeout Auburn.
Ole Miss comes out with full court pressure. You are asking, why does Chris Beard call that timeout? That's exactly why. Set up your full court press. Let your team know we don't have to foul immediately. Let's take some chances on the defensive end. Auburn's not trying to score unless they get a wide open layup. So Ole Miss able to extend their pressure, take some chances, and it's paid off a couple of times here late in this game.
So 2-possession game, Brian, 60-55, 113. Is there any reason for Ole Miss to foul here given what we've just seen? At this point, you keep the press on, but to what you said a few seconds ago, there's enough time. Play it out if you don't get the steal, right?
Yeah, take chances, understanding that Auburn is not going to try to go too quickly unless they have a wide open layup or dunk. You don't want to foul the guards of Auburn here because you've got great free throw shooters on the floor. The guys that are going to be handling the ball, you don't want to go to the line and convert. Both teams in the double bonus, so it's going to be 2 shots, and Ole Miss a chance to extend this pressure and put that same amount of pressure on the number 1 seed, Auburn Tigers.
Same set. They don't guard Baker Mazzara, who can run the baseline. By the way, if there's a held ball, it favors Auburn. Timeout situation. Auburn has 3. Ole Miss has 1. Baker Mazzara, who threw it away the last time, will have to trigger it again. Underhand scoop pass to Jones, who returns it to Baker Mazzara. And Auburn, after another trap in backcourt, does break the timeline with Jones. Now Pettiford, who hasn't been in a while, will run point here for Auburn. 1 minute to go, 15 to shoot. Tigers by 5 with the basketball. Baker Mazzara around a pick from Broome. They're going to try to set up the SEC Player of the Year at the block with 8 and 7. Baker Mazzara can't get it to him. Going to have to go one-on-one. 3, baseline runner, no. Skips off to Barnes on the weak side. Ole Miss has life here. 40 seconds to play, down 5 to Murray. Wouldn't shoot and draws the foul. Veteran play there because the freshman Pettiford got a little too close and Murray forced the contact and the call.
Yeah, Murray had an open look at the three-point line, but recognized that Pettiford was a little bit out of position. And sometimes as a defender, your hesitation on fouling forces sometimes a foul because you're a little slow, little hesitant. He was out of position, and a veteran move by a veteran player in Murray as he takes the contact on the floor, but the Rebels in the double bonus. He'll go to the line for a couple of big free throws.
Makes both. We got a one-possession game with 38.2 seconds left. First one from Murray rattles in. Today he was 2 of 2 before that one. Jalen Murray, senior out of the Bronx, 17 points yesterday against Arkansas. That was his highest against an SEC opponent this year. Relatively quiet today from the floor at 3 of 10. But a massive second free throw on the way. 4-point game, chance to make it 3, and he does. 38.2. Ole Miss stays in the press. They have forced a couple of turnovers, trying to do one more. The inbounds pass will come to Jones, and now Ole Miss retreats. 8.2 second difference between the timers. Bruce Pearl has timeouts to use, won't do it here. He's going to play this one out. Ole Miss needs a stop and a 3 to force overtime. Pettiford still dribbling. Now goes to work. 10 on the timer. Around a pick from Broom. Heads right. Reverses up top. Baker Mazzara. Into Broom. On Dia. Spins baseline. Baker, yes! Time out Auburn as Janai Broom comes through with his 23rd point, and the Tigers are up 5 with 11.1 to go.
Auburn able to get exactly what they wanted. Run the shot clock down and get it to their All-American and Janai Broom, a guy that loves to go over that right shoulder with his left hand. Set up Malik Dia perfectly. Faked right. You know he's not going to go right. The only reason he's doing that is to come back left. It was a beautiful move. Sometimes even though you know it's coming, it's still hard to defend. It was for Malik Dia on that possession, and a huge basket by Janai Broom.
And a slight change in how Auburn has gotten him to a spot. For the majority of this half, Brian, it feels like we've talked about Janai Broom on the side of the basket closest to us as Auburn goes goal to our right. That time they got him on the other side of the floor where he would spin towards the baseline. Got Dia leaning, and a great job as we watch the replay to bank it in. Now let's talk Ole Miss here. Down 5, 11.1 to go. Do you go for the 3 here or the quick 2?
Quick. And now that doesn't necessarily answer your question, but if you get a quick 3, yes. If you get a quick 2, yes. You got to score quick. Clock's going to stop on a make, so go quick and then put pressure on Auburn. You're going to have to go, if you can score, probably going to be in a position where you're going to have to foul, maybe initially try to get the steal, but you also don't need to foul certain players. Chad Baker Mazzara, if you're in that position, is the best free throw shooter in the SEC, and I think that's why Chris Beard decided not to foul. Not a lot of time between shot clock and game clock on that possession, only 8-second differential. You'll see a lot of coaches decide to foul in that situation, but because the Auburn guards are such good free throw shooters, Chris Beard decided to let it play out. Auburn counters, they go to their All-American, and he steps up in a big way.
Janai Broom had 2 double-doubles last year in Auburn's run to the 2024 SEC Tournament Championship. He's got one today with 23 and 14. Auburn is going to pick up in backcourt here just a bit and offer some pressure and not let Ole Miss roll the ball up. They pass to Padula across the timeline. NBA straight on 3. No. Rebounded by Broom. That's going to be his 14th. That will do it as Ole Miss won't foul, and Auburn gets the win. 62-57. Brian, the Tigers were pressed. They were stressed, but they came through in the clutch when it mattered.
Well, they did, and it's no shock who stepped up in a big way on that last possession. Everybody in the building figured they were going to go inside to Janai Broom and able to go up against Malik Dia, get back to that right shoulder, left hand off the glass, essentially ending the game. And I thought Auburn's defense was terrific in the second half. Ole Miss guards couldn't get free. They put up a great fight against the #1 seed in this tournament.
And Auburn, Brian, in the second half offensively, they shot 56.5% from the field. And Auburn did all this on an off day shooting threes. 6 of 21, the Tiger numbers from downtown for the ball game. But as you said, great adjustments. They didn't take as many threes in the second half. They made a few, but again, the ability to get what they had to get offensively, and as you said, yes, Ole Miss stayed in this game, but on the balance of the 40 minutes, it felt like Ole Miss made tougher shots than Auburn had to make for most of the afternoon.
Yeah, it's a luxury for Bruce Pearl to be able to dump it down inside to Janai Broome, and he produced in a big way, 21 and 14, but the defense for the Auburn Tigers in the second half, holding Ole Miss to a low number from the three-point line. We talked about it at halftime. Ole Miss, their guards were going to have to step up, make some shots. Well, they didn't have many opportunities in the second 20 minutes, and that's because Auburn put the clamps on the defensive end. And yes, Janai Broome had big numbers, but the defense by the Tigers, excellent in the second half.
Again, Auburn gets the victory with a final of 62-57. And now, if you're Auburn, it's a chance to get back to the hotel and get off your feet before you see either of the UTs in the SEC, as Texas and Tennessee will face each other in the second quarterfinal. Get a quick look at some of the numbers, Brian, again, on the balance of the game. Broome with 23 and 15. He was as advertised. Denver Jones, though, with 13 points on 5 of 8 shooting, the spark that he provided Auburn today.
Yeah, he was great on both ends of the floor. One of the best perimeter defenders in the SEC. I thought he and Chad Baker-Mazara were difference makers on the defensive end, but Denver Jones knocked down a couple of threes early, was solid throughout, and gave Auburn just enough scoring balance to get it done. This was a great defensive effort by the Tigers, and Denver Jones and Janai Broome big in this one.
And we're going to be visited by Denver Jones, who's coming over to our broadcast location, throws on a headset. Yeah, go ahead, take a seat, man. You earned it. You earned it after that ball game, Denver. Thanks for spending a couple minutes with us, man. I want to go back to the first half, right? The shots weren't necessarily falling at the clip you guys have had for most of the year. Really looked like the message from Coach Pearl and company was turn it up defensively and let that fuel your offense.
Yeah, I feel like that's the beauty of our team, man. We got a lot of guys that can get it going any day. When our offense not going, but we know we can rely on our defense to get our offense going.
You guys won the best league in college basketball, but didn't end the way you wanted it to the last couple of games of the year. How important was it to come in here to Nashville and play well here today?
Man, we had a chip on our shoulder. We know that we lost our last 2 games in conference play, and we just came out and just wanted to prove a point.
Basketball is all about, it's not always the big three individually. It's little moments, right? The play you made to save the basketball on that end. Now then, Janai had to go get it, and all of a sudden, 5 seconds later on the other end, Chad Baker-Mazara is flushing it with 2 hands to get the crowd hyped and get an and one. Just the effort that you guys had to play with. You knew Ole Miss would bring it after how they played yesterday.
Man, I just feel like the message today was to come out and just play with the utmost effort and energy, and I feel like that's what we preached all week ever since we lost our 2 games. So that's what we want to come out here today and do.
Appreciate you spending a couple minutes with us. Congrats on the victory. We'll see you tomorrow in the semis.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Denver Jones, part of Auburn's victory today as the Tigers get the better of Ole Miss. Brian, enjoyed hanging out with you, man. That was a fun one. And again, we keep saying it, this tournament keeps on building.
Well, what a fun tournament. And to the surprise of no one, the best league in college basketball is producing at the SEC tournament. Usually Friday's the day that we say, okay, the big boys are going to start to play today. The big boys have been playing since Wednesday. The strength of this league is on full display, and we saw that in this game here this afternoon.
Auburn pressed and pushed, but they get Ole Miss to eventually fall at the last bit of that ball game. What an opening quarterfinal. We got 3 more to come. Tennessee and Texas starting their warm-ups. We got a lot to do before the horns and the balls tip off. Stay right where you are. Stephen Hartzell has you covered through the middle of this one as the day session off and running. Auburn 62, Ole Miss 57, the final on the SEC Radio Network.
Sonic Radio. It's time for my favorite segment, Ask the CIO. Hey, caller, you're on.
Hi, a big fan. I used to think I could never love another burger more than my favorite. Then I tried the Sonic Smasher. With its tangy smasher sauce, melty cheese, and hand-smashed Angus patties seared to crispy perfection. How do I tell my favorite burger it's been replaced?
Easy. You don't. It's a burger. It has no feelings.
The Sonic Smasher. Try it as a double or triple. Live free, eat Sonic. See menu for details.
At Sprouts Farmers Market, we're all about fresh, healthy, and delicious. Every shopping trip is an adventure, with new and ahead-of-the-trend products hitting the shelves every month. From the latest mouth-watering vegan and gluten-free cookies to yummy plant-based protein bars, there's always something new to explore. Plus, find more than 2,800 Sprouts brand items filled with incredible flavor and better-for-you ingredients. Visit your neighborhood Sprouts today, the official grocer of the Southeastern Conference.
Live from Nashville, this is the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network.
On Southwest, everyone can change or cancel their flight without a fee. That means this solo travel queen can stay an extra day on vacay. No fee, baby. And these two lovebirds get one more day of freedom.
Our kids won't miss us. They're with me, Ma.
While this poor guy can bail on the bachelor party a night early.
I'm tired, man.
No change or cancel fees. For real. That's a big flex. Only at Southwest. Fare difference may apply. Failure to cancel a reservation at least 10 minutes prior to scheduled departure may result in forfeited flight credits.
Johnsonville asks, know why they're called sausage links? Because they have the power to link people together. Isn't that beautiful? I read that somewhere, or maybe I just made it up. But the point is, instead of stirring the pot on social media to drive people apart, let's stir the jambalaya or the Italian sausage rigatoni. And you just watch. Johnsonville sausage links link people, just like the sausage patties is a way people pat each other on the back. Okay, that I totally made up, but it's also very true. Keep it juicy out there.
Another team is moving on. Time now for the postgame show, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of the SEC. Stats, analysis, a full game recap, and more are coming up. Once again, let's go live inside Bridgestone Arena in Nashville.
Final score from Nashville. Auburn advances over Ole Miss 62-57 in our first of 4 quarterfinals here on Friday. Stephen Hartzell courtside with you at Bridgestone Arena. Welcome to the postgame show driven by Mercedes-Benz. Quick recap of what we just saw. Ole Miss tied this game at 46 all around the 6:56 mark. They trimmed the lead to a possession late in this ball game. About 2 minutes to go, Ole Miss was in this thing. They never retook the lead, but they were in it till the very end. Just too much Auburn, too much Janai Broome, and that's been the case for pretty much this entire league all season long. As Auburn is able to get it done, Ole Miss certainly made them work for it, but 62-57, the Tigers will be moving on to the semifinals on Saturday. It's time for our T-Mobile play of the game, and it comes courtesy of Chad Baker-Mazzara.
Now off the screen from Dia, Padula to the short corner, in amongst the trees, kicks up top, Murray, open three, no! Rebound though, loose, deflected, over the inline, saved by Ole Miss, still loose, and Broome tiptoes the baseline, up court Auburn, back on Mazzara with a two-handed hammer in the arm.
What a huge sequence in this game.
As called by our Phil Brame and Brian Passing, Chad Baker-Mazzara, the and one dunk, that made it 60-51. Right around the 2-minute mark, you heard it during that scramble. Ole Miss had a wide open three that they missed. It would have cut into the Auburn lead. That is our play of the game, courtesy of Chad Baker-Mazzara. It's brought to you by T-Mobile, 5G home internet. Time now for our player of the game, and it's guess who? Janai Broome. Our player of the game, brought to you by Bush's. Bush's Chili Magic makes chili magically fast. Just chop, drop, chili. Janai was chopping and dropping Ole Miss for about 40 minutes today. 23 points for the All-American, 8 of 14 from the floor. He was 0 of 2 from 3, but 7 of 10 from the free throw line. 15 rebounds to go along with those 23 points. Janai Broome, our Bush's player of the game. We're between games here in the day session. Coming up next, it'll be the 4-seed Tennessee Volunteers and 13th-seeded Texas. As you can imagine, there is a lot of orange that has found their way inside the lower bowl here at Bridgestone Arena. Of course, our evening session set to go later this evening. It'll be Florida and Missouri in game number 1. That game expected to tip around 6 o'clock local time. That's 7 o'clock in the East. That'll be followed by Kentucky and Alabama. Should be one heck of a nightcap to round things out here on Friday night. Coming up next, we'll turn the page on Game 1. We'll preview what is still to come here on quarterfinal Friday. Vols and Longhorns coming up in Game number 2 here on Day 3 in downtown Nashville. We're back to Broadway after this timeout on the SEC Radio Network.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm the old basketball hoop in your driveway, and I'm rustier than your game. I mean, seriously, I should have been replaced back in '99. So when you go up for a dunk, I slam down onto your car. And if you don't have the right auto insurance, you might have to jump through a few hoops to pay for this. So get Allstate, save money, and get protected from mayhem like me.
Savings vary based on coverage selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
On Southwest, everyone can change or cancel their flight without a fee. That means this solo travel queen can stay an extra day on vacay. No fee, baby. And these two lovebirds get one more day of freedom.
Our kids won't miss us. They're with me, Ma.
Well, this poor guy can bail on the bachelor party a night early.
I'm tired, man.
No change or cancel fees. For real. That's a big flex. Only at Southwest. Fare difference may apply. Failure to cancel a reservation at least 10 minutes prior to scheduled departure may result in forfeited flight credits.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament.
Wants to try another three. He'll make another three.
On the SEC Radio Network.
In SEC country, the key to our confidence comes from having a goal.
Number 3, ready?
And knowing just how we're going to get there.
8 seconds, it's plenty of time.
So in these pivotal moments, we come together for inspiration and a plan. Financial confidence in SEC country works that way too, when you and your banker get together to create your personal Regions Green Print plan.
I think that'll really work. Thanks.
So let's huddle up, because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC, member FDIC.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, price lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Listening to coverage of the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network.
Going to try to take it coast to coast with a finger roll.
Lobs it and nails it at the buzzer.
Oh, wow.
The SEC Men's Basketball Tournament is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. By Bush's. Bush's Chili Magic makes chili magically fast. Just chop, drop, chili. By Farm Rich, the official frozen snack of the SEC. Grab a snack. Gatorade, the official sports drink of the SEC. Gatorade, it fuels the best because it is the best. Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of the SEC. By Pfizer, the official pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine awareness sponsor of the SEC. By Regions, official bank of the SEC. The Sonic Smasher, live free, eat Sonic. Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the SEC. Sprouts Farmers Market, official healthy grocer of the SEC. And by T-Mobile 5G home internet. Time for the Johnsonville pregame show. Johnsonville, reminding everyone to keep it fun, keep it together, and keep it juicy. Now let's go live inside Bridgestone Arena in Nashville.
We got 1/4 of our semifinal bracket penciled in. Time to find out who else is going to be joining Auburn on Saturday. Stephen Hartzell welcoming you inside our Johnsonville pregame show, where we are about 15 minutes away from getting game number 2 started in the SEC tournament here in the quarterfinal round. Tennessee and Texas are about to hook up. Winner gets the aforementioned Auburn Tigers tomorrow. Time to head back to the locker room and hear from both head coaches. It's brought to you by Gatorade, the official sports drink of the SEC. Gatorade, it fuels the best best because it is the best. We'll start with the 13-seed Texas playing their third game in as many days after knocking off Vanderbilt and most recently Texas A&M in double overtime to get here. Our Tim Bickford sat down with Longhorns head coach Rodney Terry before today's game.
Coach, another great effort from your team yesterday. What did you see in the win over the rival Aggies?
Well, we knew it was going to be a physical game. Thought we did a great job in the first half, keeping them off the glass. It's number one offensive rebounding team in the country. They had three. They came out the second half. They took it to us a little bit on the glass, but I thought our guys persevered through it and continued to play. We good paint touch game for us, and I thought we did a great job finishing the game.
What did you see from Trey yesterday? There was a spurt there where he didn't have too many touches, but then it seemed like you guys got him the ball late in that overtime and second overtime period.
Well, he's one of those guys, again, that over the course of the season we've learned that he can affect the game more than just scoring. Trayvon had some really good passes for him, and also Jordan Pope had a really good pass out for him late in the game. He knows our guys are always going to look to find him, and there are going to be times and situations throughout the course of the game that he's going to get an opportunity to shoot the ball.
That is Texas head coach Rodney Terry. He sounds like a head coach playing his third game in as many days, doesn't he? He'll be opposed today by another former head coach of the Longhorns. That would be Rick Barnes, who's in his 10th season on Rocky Top. Barnes' Vols picked up a ton of hardware in terms of SEC honors, but none more so than Zakai Ziegler, who garnered all SEC first team as well as the Defensive Player of the Year award. Coach Barnes bragged about just how important the Tennessee guard is to his program.
Well, it's going to be hard to think about him not being here, for one, because what people don't understand, I've said it almost every time I've talked about Zakai, what they see him do during the game, I've watched him do it every day for 4 years in practice, and that's what makes him special. That's who he is. He only knows one way to go, and that's to give it everything he has every single day. But I think he will be remembered as one of the all-time great Tennessee Volunteers because of his effort, his love for the community. And if you go back his freshman year when his family lost everything in a fire in New York and the way Vol Nation responded to him, I know it touched him deeply. His loyalty is unmatched by anyone, and but it's just his effort and the fact that he's always been the underdog, but he's never felt like he couldn't do it, which I think is really something to be commended for.
That's Tennessee head coach Rick Barnes. We're getting closer to tip time between the Vols and Longhorns. Quarterfinal number 2 coming up here in about 10 minutes, and we're back with more of our Johnsonville pregame show, live from courtside at Bridgestone Arena, after this on the SEC Radio Network.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game. Fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports and Outdoors and at academy.com.
We know that sport has the power to change lives on and off the field, but today, the majority of kids in the U.S. are no longer playing sports. As the leader in fueling athletes, Gatorade is committed to helping reverse this trend and creating positive change across our communities. That's why Gatorade has launched Fuel Tomorrow, a new multi-year initiative to help everyone have equal opportunity to play sports and realize their potential. Learn more about Gatorade's commitment to break down barriers and help millions of kids get into the game by visiting Gatorade.com/community.
You're listening to coverage of the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network.
Johnsonville asks, know why they're called sausage links? Because they have the power to link people together. Isn't that beautiful? I read that somewhere, or maybe I just made it up. But the point is, instead of stirring the pot on social media to drive people apart, let's stir the jambalaya or the Italian sausage rigatoni. And you just watch. Johnsonville sausage links link people, just like the sausage patties is a way people pat each other on the back. Okay, that I totally made up, but it's also very true. Keep it juicy out there.
Sonic Radio. It's time for my favorite segment, Ask the CIO. Hey, caller, you're on.
Hi, a big fan. I used to think I could never love another burger more than my favorite. Then I tried the Sonic Smasher. With its tangy smasher sauce, melty cheese, and